Epa ho adabenti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
The mobile phones affordable. And the mobile companies, no, you're very catcher in the home. Now the mobile phones, no, I'm a nipa, that mouth here, what here, 1 city, 2 city, 1 city, 2 city, Kakaka, that way here, mobile phone before 80, yet scheme, no, air over here, because we need everybody to have a smart device.
Epa ho adabenti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
Darling.
Yes.
Ye bedidi na meche angel cola. Me bread do. Obi fa angel cola drink. Na ne yonku eyi angel orange. Ana angel mango. Ose me san pe di obi eyi. Aka me de ho.
Sese obi ape angel soft drinks ni nyina bi.
Ai daddy, me say me penny ni na bi.
Sister, wo dear mama angel peach, angel strawberry, and na angel cocktail. Actually, no matter angel apple lime.
What ye? E sani afum ade. Me say angel cola, any angel orange pe na menya. Afei na nka. It's also from wifey. For us just no ebesi ha. Never angel drinks ni nyina agum. Obi ankata na ni no woni. Ye won sabe so mo no anom.
Ani, asamasa. En no ano no.
De bia sani enya no. Angel cola de asembabo. Angel drinks ya. Adonko Soft Drinks Beverages Limited. And why? Who to do after one? 0244 83 22 86 and 050 78 78 668.
Angel drinks.
Taste like our day.
FDA ajeje de nkratwe atum.
Baby, when you say first na ye binumu ye shut down per politics. Ye say politics for no money or money and munye. But namumu ebinumu so nti enyina ye ni agi say ye beboa ma o man na koso na ebo 1 o'clock pe na wa ye lawyer ma o man na lawyer for enyina pon akofia koda nyamishra
Kachre China for Ghana ha. Ewo mo kasem se omuntie epa ho adaben dwumadie ewo happy 98.9 FM so.
Epa ho adaben.
Ai.
大家下午好。希望大家以后能多收听epa ho adaben Happy FM 广播上。谢谢大家。
Epa ho adaben. Epa ho adaben.
To the extent that we heard that 11,000 Ghanaians, according to the Chronicle, will be recruited into the security services. We had raised concerns referencing the nature and how this recruitment reportedly was going to be handled. And the minister obviously responded to our press conference. So there was some element of banter between the NDC minority and the MPP majority. Today, the minister held a meeting with the entire House. And the conclusions is that he's assuring all of us that he's going to advertise so that ordinary Ghanaian out there will have the opportunity to be enlisted into the security services. And this is going to be done at the district, at the regional level. So across the 16 regional capitals, Ghanaian youth are going to have the opportunity to participate in the enlistment processes. And he said that they are going to limit this to those that applied for 2021 and 2022 recruitment exercise.
We need both houses to always ensure that we understand what is being put out there. The Minister for Interior has done a yeoman's job by coming out to call both houses to understand how we should prosecute that particular agenda of recruitment. And I'm very happy that at this point in time, when we met, we have understood the whole process, and we know that we are going to advertise and people are going to ensure that the ordinary man on the street will have access to it. We want to reiterate and we want to emphasize that no fees will be charged.
We have had extensive conversation, and I want to say that the recruitment exercises for of the security agencies under the Ministries of Interior will be advertised with a clause. The clause is those who went online to apply in 2021 and 2022 and for some reason have still not been able to go through the process. But I must be quick to add and bring clarity to no money must be paid. The security and intelligence agencies, and for that matter, governments, does not control what we call medicals. If you go out there as a private citizen to do medicals, you have to pay for the medical fee. That is not the doing of the security and intelligence agencies. But what we are saying is that for the purposes of filling your application online, it is completely free. Free in the sense that these people have already paid online. So that's where the free is, so that people don't go to medicals and they say it's free.
You have to apply the new standing orders in this matter. And as we proceed on recess, I expect that the committee will sit during the course of the recess to consider these nominees. And anytime we resume, we will consider them on the floor of the House to see whether there is any full complement that they want to make sure is maintained. Which full complement I am not aware of. And so we are being called for, through this letter as a House, to look at the issue of a full complement of the Supreme Court. Should it be 13? Should it be 15? Should it be 20, 40, or 100? It's for this House to decide. And I'm urging you to look at this issue during the constitutional reforms or to pass legislation to give an upper limit as to how many can be at the Supreme Court of a country of 33 million people.
You rightly pointed out the concerns of majority of Ghanaians and frankly members of Parliament on the limits of the Supreme Court judges. And more importantly, Right Honourable Speaker, we just engage you on the time left for this Parliament to go on recess. We have barely 1 week. And obviously, these are very serious appointments that the appointment committee must do a very good job on. And so clearly, the point you made, in addition to the time we have, so necessary requires that this cannot be considered in this particular session if we want to do a good job. Because practically, we are talking about a week and a half to this serious office. They said we should come back during the vacation. And so, honorable, the initial concerns we have.
Kachre China for Ghana ha. Ewo mo kasem se omuntie epa ho adaben dwumadie ewo happy 98.9 FM so.
Epa ho adaben.
Ai.
大家下午好，希望大家以后能多收听epa ho adaben Happy FM 广播上，谢谢大家。
Epa ho adaben.
Baby, when you say first na ye binumu ye shut down politics. Yes, politics for no money or money and Tomunia. But Namumu, a binumu sunti, and I near the say a bebuama of my narcos. Now, about 1 o'clock per now, I a lawyer, among my lawyer for in your Poakofia Koda. Yamishra.
A Pahua Benti, Sinupi, and Nokre, a Yabakupe.
.9 FM e pa ho da be dwumedie ne memo hamu akwaba e ba Ghana kasafidie ba akopeso ene wi nso ba de adaro ma ya tena se e be di Ghana ho nkomo na menim ne ekoso e wo mrahye bedwafie muma Ghana 40 ase se ebonondu ena e ade a finance minister e de mid-year budget review e be kwa akoto mrahye bedwafie na Ghana fo nyina atibi abo 10 11 12 1 abapa ho still mid-year review budget no parliament nye ho ready yo the way ayeye niema wo man we mu no e reflect the way ayeye niema e reflect wo ya brabo mu yeni enhyehyeye so yendi en time so Nano mampani the State of the Nation address the number of hours I etnase members of the diplomatic corps etnase close to 2 hours. Meanwhile, the advertised time for the program na twemu de dada. We yes ya chichire man. Simple time ye bedi su yentimi ni so. Yes ya chichire man. Yes ya ni abre pe baabi akọ. Eti ho no memo ahamu akwaba eba Ghana fidie so happy 98.9 FM ewie so sene wuni mu no we're live on radio, we're live on Facebook. Ewie mi busa se media budget ya finance minister Debe anye bia wo ho expectations bi 2024 budget no November last year ena eye kanofrata de koto mashibejefie. Are you impressed so far with the way I am managing economy within the budget of 2024 na we am on communion komo enche na Facebook ami yeba near the roll call no ahihye so Peter Eni adjoining live on Facebook na Peter Eni ono we the kind I take a swipe at me crowded da. Or say, Bibi, you have totally twisted the man's statement on the phone issue. What he simply meant was we can get phones on credit instead of paying in full. I didn't seek to explain what Dr. Baumia said. I only christened it. Say, sloganere no me adinti nanka me buana nanka e simple. One mobile phone, one CD. Now, my main issue with South Promise is not say yebetua nkakra ana say de bi bibusa say enti Ghana mabunu ade a ehia wo mu ne omo dadwen kese pa ne say omu benya phones ana Is that what Dr. Baumia considers as the most pressing and important issue as a obi pe president dia also or address Ghana mebunu ana? Sir, me ne wo ka say the same aban a wo promise one mobile phone na watua no 1 cedi bosumi bia that same aban ya atete Ghana teacher for 30% from one kasa salaries mu say ye de mamo laptops and na me ne wo ka say over 50,000 teachers womusanka womo laptops, and we are still promising new electronic gadgets. .9 FM Pamwada Benjumediene. Michael Ayaba joining live on Facebook. Good afternoon, BB. NDC all the way from Oyibi Abuabo no and our free day ba Michael Ayaba Pedro wa Mordina Cruz or say and so we joining live ewo Kumase Indianapolis Tanoso Kesben Junction hona oheyimfi ene ewie Pedro wa Maldina Cruz yet mawaha edawase ewie Simon Oredu nso adjoine yembiemu na obaye no Simon Oredu dia odiaba or say good afternoon baby, I'm listening live at Wisdom Clothing. The vice president isn't saying anything new. Take and pay later is working for as long as for long. Okay, so take and pay has been in the system for long. That was the way I used to buy the phone I am using now. Question is, must it be a buying burden to provide mobile phones for a mebunu and also a buying that home? Richard Okai joining live on Facebook because BB, good afternoon. Dr. Baumia is promising to give Android phones to Ghanaians at the cost of 1 cedi a month. Very soon, he will promise aeroplane for 1 Ghana cedi. I know Richard Okai de Odiaba. Wafake ewo new plan station circle or CBB NDC MPs don't want to go to parliament because of Atto-Forson is in court. NDC MPs are not serious. Kwabena Sante na NDC MPs and come rashe bedwafia adan entientimi nkan budget na. Good afternoon, BB, please. Is this country safe? Kwabena Sante Nebusa. Kwabena, I don't know why you feel say the country is not safe. Manuel Jesse joining in anyway live on Facebook. Manuel Jesse said, BB, you see Baumia talks to the media. When Baumia talks, the media goes after him. Yesterday, the speaker did something wrong and no one talked about it. Interesting. I guess you didn't listen to our show yesterday. Utie yanka unkawe. Abbas Umar SCBB, good afternoon. There is no magic the NPP can do to change the economy or reduce the hardship on Ghanaians. JM all the way, he adds. Y'all say ewo UK wa joining in area na y'all say ebaya Nedia Odeba and simply also good afternoon, BB, watching you from the United Kingdom. Try God Walato Leati and so Abba wa joining live on Facebook because Mr. BB, I greet you and your crew. BB, so let me ask you where Ghana's economy is now. Is smartphone the most needed thing of Ghanaian citizens? Try God is the same question I'm trying to find answers to an area. Richard Okan said, how many years will it take to pay 1 Ghana cedi a month for an Android phone costing over 200 Ghana cedis? Or say, okay, and yet 200 cedis no come. Or say, how many years will it take to pay 1 cedi a month for an Android phone? And what they account will say 200 years. Honorable Yao Ajabo and so Abba live on Facebook. Because good afternoon, Besmak Nanaya Brown. Or say I am listening to your program live from Medina in Samampom. Or say if God wants to kill you, he first makes you mad. The word is actually if the gods want to kill you, they first make you mad. Zona Hit say good afternoon, baby. By hook or crook, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia will be sworn in as President of the Republic of Ghana come 7th January 2025. And also a Zona Diawa Diaba Bixente del Sempre. And so I join you live on Facebook. Because wait, assuming I want a phone that costs 3,000 Ghana cedis, it means the government will give me about 100 years to pay back. Hey! 1 cedi a month. Peter any assign ababiemu ono to first blue edema me eja magedi ahye me ho or say be like I said you mentioned one CD one phone it's stuck with some people and they will take it as such. Let's be circumspect. But what is the point? I mean, his dream is that every youth will own a phone. If every youth would own a phone, is it not one phone, one man? How much ana okasa obetua? Also 1 CD between 1 CD and 2 CDs. It is a mekasa one man, one mobile phone, 1 CD. How far is this from what Dr. Baumia has said? I mean, how far is it from that? And now there's some mumpe slogans ni biemu ana, mumpe 1D, 1F, mumpe 1V, 1D biemu ana. What is wrong with that? That's the point. His dream is that every youth ebenya one smartphone. Now sa one smartphone, no, one man, one phone. And now sa phone so you 1 CD every month. Into one mobile phone, one CD, no. How far is that from what Dr. Baumia has said? They how then I will me a chumuti say. Peter Enise semeka 1 CD 1 phone na ebeka nkofo adwene mu enso enye sana Dr. Baumia kan yo ene kan ye kan ye na me repeat ma why ebi ana mantena say Honorable Yao Ajabo say thank you for the correction. Young Rich said, Bibi, good afternoon. I'm watching you live from Medina Market. Keep the good work up and on their account some more fire. Mano Jesse said, Bibi, I want to know, is Baumia the only candidate? Not at all. Jude Jedu said, good afternoon, Bibi. Wasansre, ha ha ha, no their account. Ken Farouk, all the way from Kaswa, or say an average Android phone will cost 2,000 cedis. 1 CD a month is equal to 12 CDs a year. So it means that 167 years and a nipano edebitua a year, a smartphone na ebe cost about 2,000 Ghana cedis. But why are you worried about the number of years a nipano edebitua? Ni hiane said in saka phone. Abaye ne pese emebunu no obia enya phone baako. At least also obia enya one smartphone. Eno ye abaya dajene, eno ye Dr. Baumia dajene. Men kan sa ben or no be a president, he would be a new president, or a president that. Say so a vice president, or Pamiama ni 2 million na wababe di president. Na ni trimu po, na ne vision, the niswadi hunu, Emma Ghana for no wetimia implemented. Na ansana ye beto abana mano no, or chreye in the vision for Ghana for. Enubi, wakan sembebre, ba kubia na anuya wakoka, ewa sola tuna kaba constituency ni se. Ewa se mebunu nya eye smartphones. Na sa smartphones yi obeye president obema ninya no aye easy ama Ghana for kwan be no befa so ama aye easy ama Ghana for ene ne say obi abenya one mobile phone na sa one mobile phone wunya wonkotua no prekope watua ya 1 CD busumi bia ana akosoro kura ya 2 CDs busumi bia eno ene promise Dr. Baumia dia betumu me pe wadwen kire me pesa wo kire wadwene ewo ho na me kai will say when parliament is ready we'll cross over to parliament na ye the media budget review no abrewo and finance minister is expected to address the nation na jumedie no ni nti ehu hia ne say what the akohoma ho nsem ebeto parliament Ghana for anim afi atwa November what the budget ne ba the fact is all the budget aba doesn't mean say sika ni nyina what the executive budget no enti what the list or wish list niema wo pese wo ye wa afi ni mu what the ni nyina beto Ghana for anim na wasese sika wo behia wo de be yes ade no samre no ye mid year budget reviewer na ye ne say budget na yedi tu afe na akwan no ya implement budget no edu afe ni mfinfini enti wo say yebo break na yebusa ye ho say anye bia budget na ye no ye di so na ye di so a de he items ben na wo budget ni mu a so far yetimi enya ehun sika yetu ehun anamon de na aka yenya ehun sika na ehun sika na aka na yebenya free he aban ni behia extra money na omo dia executive budget na extra money krono ehin ne befiaba ebefi taxes anase ebekwa kwabo obesia enti saa 2024 budget yi ye implement budget no ama edu afini mfimfin e wo se ye bo break ne busa se ye nam kwan no so are we on course are we able to deliver eniema ye ka se ye beye wo budget ni mu ana ehin na atosini ebi ana aban kura betimi aka se afi atwa mu no ye yesi ye beye wei na yehwe afi no dodo na aka na bosumi dodo aka ansa na afi na wi a anya ade ye ntimi nye nti ebi a ye ye afirimu na ye de akọ another budget year. These are all reasons nti a ye media review budget esanso boa yen ema ye hwese babia ye nam na ye disi ye ni so no ehwa na ye nam. Are we being disciplined in terms of sika ye ka se ye be spend ye revenue target a ye disi ye ni so for the year 2024 ye do afini finfin no are we doing well? Are we getting close to your target na ye hwe babia revenue a yetimi gather e wa afini finfin a ye betimi meet target no na yetimi deliver on budget no promises a ye na. Don't also forget in so say your election year and therefore being fiscally disciplined a key to ensuring say in fact your budget no ye wo mu say be ya aban enko overspend ni nyina ka ho bi ena wo say ye media review budget because e betimi aba say wadu afini finfin kura no na o budget no wadi musika nyina awie anase wo shuti budget ne deda. We need to understand enunti ena sa exercise we ehu hia. Now don't forget say exercise here finance minister Babe it is also in ye mra pon constitution mu nhye say wo say ye ne sa ewie ye mon komoni ani nkomon busa say wo any expectations specific ones be from media budget here na wo proposals in terms of review say budget no ye nyi bribi mfrim fa bribi nka ho ye hye ba bi kena na ana say eto saying you want to share these thoughts with us and ewie ebekenkan ni nyina ede amawo. Let me head back to Facebook na me engage amanfo ne omo messages a wono ede aba ene ewie. Suleiman Kwenu say bibi to be honest Ghana I used to wear the be minim say men kind there Ghana pen is a government who is going to import the phone and credit it to its citizens 1 for 1 CD, or Baumia is going to force individual importers to do what he's saying. They told us during the COVID-19 that they were giving us free water, and those individuals who provided the water were not paid up till now. Why all these insults to Ghanaians? And also there were the Suleiman Kwenu no. Nana Kuminswa joining live on Facebook because Bibi, I like the way the NDC members do. There is nothing good in this budget. I don't know what you mean by you like what the NDC members, the way the NDC members do. Or say nothing good in this budget. Now we have circle phone dealers in politics. Bibi, show me that person. Way or the free obuasin the buy na kumina de buy. M. Abbas Wuro Abubakar. And so I join in or say or you're widely known as Abbas or inside Awoshi. Or say, Bibi, good afternoon to you. I can't wait to listen to your intellectual political show. This wicked NPP government has nothing good to offer Ghanaians. John and Jane are coming to rescue Ghanaians from this corrupt NPP government. Baumia and Napo ticket is a disaster. My regards to Her Excellency Equia every year, incoming member of parliament for Ablekuma North. We are the account hashtag Epahua Daben, we ifri Mr. Abbas ho inside Awoshi. Richard Okain says 1 CD, 1 house, 1 CD, 1 airplane, 1 CD, 1 factory. Patro 1 CD, 1 house, no menti so bia kansa. Mente 1 CD, 1 factory, so that. 1 district, 1 factory. Nagwa Ezekiel said, Bibi, good afternoon. I wonder why people will keep defending this. How can a whole presidential candidate mount the platform saying this? Can somebody tell how that will affect or impact on our economy? Emmanuel Emma will say, or here live from the United States of Kiseman. Now, Wasre, also Dr. Baumia, near power, Power will make you say certain things you never dreamt of. Bibi, is it Android phones, Yam, or Banshee phone? Okay. Manuel just say, I think Baumia is suffering from the media. Is suffering from the media. Let's pull him down. Really? Young Rich say, hey, Ghana penny. Bibi, forget it. Asem dada noa. Okay, Mate also ho. Biba Mohammed are joining live on Facebook. Na Biba Mohammed message wadeba na asemo ene say salamu alaikum. Walaikum salam, my brother. So good afternoon, Bibi. It's always a pleasure listening to you. May Almighty Allah guide and protect you for me. And I say amen to that, Biba. Thank you so much for saying a prayer for myself and my team. Mr. Bibi, good afternoon. Wait, every bra Joe Arthur or say, do you sincerely think if Baumia respects the intelligence of those in the north, he will be saying this stuff to them just for votes? He assumes those in the north are not enlightened and they will believe just anything he tells them without questioning him. He succeeded with this stuff in 2016 and in 2020, and he thinks he can do the same in 2024. Richard says, also 1 city, 1 factory, 1 city, 1 dam, 1 city, 1 sound system. Okay, so Abbas Umar said, criminal tactics, no way to Baumia. Ofake says, Bibi, today NDC MPs didn't go to parliament because of Ato Forcing was in court. Yo, Mate, Kofi Vifase, boss, good afternoon. Baumia is not ready for power. We need food, not yam phones. But he didn't say yam phones, or say smartphones. A name remote phone amobia yam phone the be den. Into say smartphones ena wobeto na wodi amama phone no metua ne kakra. Na mibusa se sa phones no ye de taxes taxpayers money na be kwa kraba. Na ye de amama phone no metua ne kakra. Ana se private individuals ene be commission omo so omo nkofambra. Na woman fama man for 1 city 1 city. Yo, mibusa. A policy. Is it a policy? Policy. It's a promise. Mampani abedi chire aye. We need to interrogate the house. So as a how it will be implemented. No ehu hia pa. Now Solomon Elikplim ahaja. Or say, Bibi, I don't think Baumia meant to say 1 city a month. I think it is 1 Ghana city daily, there be a month. Secondly, this phone deal has been in the system for a while now. There are companies who are doing this business for not less than 3 years now. I know about that. And Nutina may wonder why Obi or person ye president, person of fasa bedding way to no hoso. There is high purchase already. Of course, Samsung ewo. There are companies omuton phones more high purchase policy amount for taking advantage of. Question is, why would anybody want to burden a buying with this sort of high purchase promise? Why would anybody want to do that? Richard Wedi said, good afternoon, Big Boss, aka BB. Present say, ana odiaba na chese we piemu ababedu yen Facebook live stream no ase na o say change is coming na no say free atwere no so e de aka ho Mary Bonsu enso aba Mary Bonsu mpacho ha yenton data wa ha munyini free so ma memesre mo yenton data e wo Happy FM live stream ya say comment on issues eda yenimu ene awie yeba abedi ho enkomo. Show produced by Frank Affle, supported by Joel Sanko. But of course, on the digital front, Thelma is ensuring we are streaming live. Bene Reynald Ajiman and the Digimedino. Bro, General Mask.
Okay.
Mashibe ya for no so mumana.
Sir, Zezem Zaman won any habem.
Sao.
Sa arms ni mi no. Executive nene
legislature. Anyhow TS mo.
Anyhow abem. Basis abre. Senrana. Omoye omunyema ba ku bi wo mrache bedwama speaker pamu obi no.
Yeah.
Na omoye omade ni bi. besi sabri enko en fa budget no grow mo de ko no akra no mu bai na besi sabri we are sure say ye ne na ya abekasa na over grounds die si wo ho emayen maybe
we are being told by
fatigue aba you're fatigued.
Aman for abre. It be so the usual politics.
The same people in the same house for a long time.
President today State of the Nation address call Emrashibe Jefie. It took almost about baby actually na and actually year na which year ya na actually. And the baby actually so atwe no ho. Enti sobe kaya President today State of the Nation address call. We sat in Parliament for almost 2 hours. And Sana Ebaso,
yes.
The Vice President had sat.
Yes.
The Chief Justice had tenase.
Yes.
Near the idea tenase. Actually, near court say minority phone stage a demonstration be a no indicate say governor to one there. Enya dia omo ebeba because governor ebu omo nimti enti omo so mfasa respect ne ma no. Dua mu after be 2 hours and Sana President eba. Enei minim nye nti abesi this time media budget review no emae yankwa homa no so na ye ne ya na mu senior wo mrahye bedwafie na ya enim komo na ommo yen amane na natime nka happy sunie na mebuse o aden na besi ne media budget review yen hyase
Maminda waseni atena ide amamwe media budget review no ekosi na hia.
Hello, Nana. Hello, Nana. Nana, ya. Okay. Yabesa afre. Okay. Hello, Nana.
Yeah.
What's it ka? Nana nyabutre, what's it ka?
Hello.
What's it ka? Okay. Wahoma no etwasi enti wasemu ana wo ka no ya nti ntubetimi akọ echi ama me be me de.
Na jemesense yade a budget no ebeba so na de amana twe coordinate ni na nse na yade aso atete form na yese MPC ni defense so common fund no aban a release am farm o ma budget no enya de mo beba de finance no maye eni se na we chamber ni musa na ube hu se edem kase ni de no ma ba na se edem kuma no na ba ku se fro ni ho ntia me no kase yi ana minority deputy head if pankasa abekatre ni members ni se bi omo akeka omo se ni na yi nti omo members no ebetimi afa akọtana se nti se ya fa ni no omo ni na adi atum no na issue se oho bia no omo address am omo no de this is the next person no minister ni beg na tinti no ne gana president ko
mebo enti fitia no pa 10 abesi samre omo address omo hu issues
omo address omo no so you be kaya fiti last 2 weeks and minority no ekofa ba yese omo common fund ne maye.
Okay.
And no you say election year when we study our campaign.
Yeah.
And to sama and never do they be my now so over see how the me na toshi or happy.
No ye common fund administrator. Good. Hello, Nana. Tuaso.
I think that from now on,
Enti metiase anache se members of the patrol I mean the clarification we answer babusa asem no minority members ne nko an no say omo common fund yen release ye anase the entirety of members of parliament na omo common fund yen releasing ma omo
all the 275 MPs a common fund name my name so MPC media MPC no omo buy na tie dem enti no omo ntime mo koto omo budget.
Okay.
Ejomo de opportunity na ti so mo be na ti na emu no opportunity ni na be ti ni an ko di government accountable so one farm ma yes yema.
common funding so
because Honorable Amin Adam, first finance minister, Yaman appointment, you are representing the first time media budget, not the better minority, a Kobanisa, or China. Minister Rene man appointment offer presenting a budget to minority Namano, first minister, a better the first time. Na enyama se issue bi a wo bia na omo thinking na omo kan bi na se obi a tene ho ase
making so common funding so wo mbrem emra no kire a e wo se ye release sika no edema members of parliament say in fact sika kura so nye sika ekọ wo mo nsem ekọ district assembly no ho na MP no project bi opeso ya we yi sika ni bi dia ye until this is more like a protester almost stage within parliament say be ya ye be fulfill a constitutional requirement
eno ano my so far the almost the and na edem kuma no media budget ni omu dina nsem ye ni so
okay
omu the first the koma ya se mutraba Ghana for so tem kwa sante sikani o my Ghana ni Gadifo, I say, you didn't know the cook husband to me from your money, not a one man in my boy. You need to shiny your budget, you shiny musa, a buying from your ma. Papa, you know, from sending a bayer, two dinner, the bedroom and last you. And waiting, you levy COVID-19. That a 20 million are buying free home, and Madonna for one toll. No moment, the other supporter by you woman say on Sanko back, Uncle Potomra.
Uncle Fademra. Tolls, road tolls. Okay.
Sanko Digito, Tano, said a bayer, no, almost a discovered brilliant thing, that 11 minutes, will be course and this time, empty rain, offer rain to some Yanni saying, almost to say no, and what.
Not just when no one near minority for no nimu se finance minister be announce and no nebe mo makoma to mo yem COVID-19 levy no okay interesting na me no ka say ayade a wahunu se minority for no eba betena ase ana still no
Omashasia umuwe mako edamkati ya media bido na ele wo hye MPs no mo ba ya chenyi na ne de omu nyina aba
enti apart from minority for na wo mo etwentwen omo na ase because omo insist say omo common fund release ma wo mo no ediem pa na parliament ene wo mo aye adwuma omo atena se aye adwuma apart from budget ya ehwe animu anase so omo tete ho ani
and so the Jamaduma de na Omashasia. Nancy, we know Castle. Speaker one class in Puma Bompaye. Anna Yashapen, a dear crown or more by Akabagetino. So far, Parliament dinner being Sasia.
Hey, and I speaker to Tuntuma.
And yes.
Ashe, eche. Ahenche.
And because my husband young for new
Mate nana ya maminya na ekoye adwuma no samra me no ka sei eyade a speaker of parliament asori ababa gina ho na empaibo na ahyase wo mrahye bedwafie speaker etutu a very colorful kente cloth na ode eye ne komudie agunukon mu na wahye ahenche na empire no na omobo ne sesi a enti yenkomra hye bedwafie na yenkotie empire ni bi mas ko beka bibi ansa na across over
bibi eno ano no said ye da umbe me yatwen eno ano ye kachi nti ye kachi a eno ano ye ye be pre ni nyina atum ni nyina na ya hwede ye befa nti eno no ti emprent
ye be pre ni nyina atum ya hwede ye befa preferences
bibi that's because adiano oye ne hwe emfa ndi aje se omo angasa no omo se omo adwene na omo prepare bi atum na de ebefa no na afa amfa yetie baby. Nti sa na akwakoe.
And the entry fire boy. Hey, running mates. Naponi.
Pillar 2. Na.
Okay, yanko back, yanko parliament na yanko team pa bone nshase.
And sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen.
Happy FM 98.9. Happy FM 98.9.
Epahuada ben. Epahuada ben ti simupi na nokre eye baako pe. Epahuada ben. Epahuada ben.
Samra me no ka say empaibo no awie opening prayer no has been said. Members of parliament atenase. But I need to observe also say enye nkonwa ni nyina na ayema. Nkonwa ni bi wo ha ni wura no mo metena so yet. Samre oba abohu say majority side no na ye hwe. Me hu no abojo gate ni fontua na so.
Canada Japan
netro. Canada Japan wo sugar no ho kamate we. Enye majority leader ni. That's right. Enye running mate na na machiro no. Napo.
Honorable Asiama. Wa mo he on Facebook no. Ye dey atum. Ti o join no happy 98.9 na. Be hunu ne eko. Na speaker na ho fa na. Trend awade ba no. Na nzen ya na waye. Wa fa no ho se ya. Se so ohene no.
Ene watutu ntuma. Odi ni hene. Odi ni hene of parliament.
It lies in my mouth.
Number 3.
The of time constraints, we will not have roll call today. And I don't have any message from His Excellency the President. Neither do I have a formal communication today.
Happy FM.
And so we'll move straight to item 5, correction of votes and proceedings and official reports. We will start with the correction of votes and proceedings of Monday, 22nd July, 2024. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9.
This is Happy FM.
Page 10, page 11, page 12. Yes.
May I
member for Tamale South.
May I Speaker, page 12 on the Affirmative Action Gender Equality Bill 2024, where we deleted achievement and inserted attainment. It was for the second Deputy Speaker who was presiding to direct that the draft person will take care of it in every other clause where achievement was used to be substituted with attainment. And then, Mr. Speaker, we said that clause 1 was now to be read together. So there was no clause 1 and 2. 2 was to become part of 1, which is the object of the act. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
This is Happy FM.
Table office, kindly cross-check from the official reports. And if what the honorable member has stated, please capture it correctly. Page 13. Page 14. Sorry, The end is at page 13. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, again 13, item 6, clause 3. So the clause 3 was now to become the 2. In the rewording, let it be captured. Thank you in the draft part. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Table office, kindly take note and do the writing. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of the 26th sitting
Happy FM 98.9.
of the 26th sitting dated Monday, not Tuesday, Monday, 22nd July 2024 are adopted as the true record of proceedings.
Happy FM 98.9.
Ho adabenti sinupi na nokre eye baako pɛ. Ho adaben. Ho adaben.
Happy FM 98.9.
Honorable members, after the corrections of votes and proceedings, it's important that I correct some reference I made yesterday. We laid a paper and the paper was referred to the Committee on Budget. I then, after that, cross-checked from the new standing orders, and I think the proper committee should be that of Finance, not the Budget Committee. Not the Budget Committee, it should be the Finance Committee. You recall, I added that the Budget Committee members should join the Finance Committee instead of it being the other way around. And so I went back to read the standing orders, and I saw that the contents of the paper that was laid had to do with fiscal issues. And if it is to deal with fiscal issues, then the proper place should be the Committee on Finance, not that of Budget. That is why I'm drawing your attention that, with your kind permission, I will give the directive for it to be referred to the Finance Committee, not the Budget Committee. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, I refer to Order 235, Budget Committee. The Budget Committee comprises a chairperson, a ranking member, and not more than 13 other members. 2, the Budget Committee shall collaborate with the Minister responsible for Finance and the Office of the President in the initiation, formulation, and implementation of the national budget. 3, the Budget Committee shall consider and report to the House on the medium-term expenditure framework, the Appropriations Bill, a report laid before Parliament of budget expenditure, and consider the annual budget and determine whether the annual budget gives effect to Chapter 6. Mr. Speaker, the key points relate to item 4. The Budget Committee may request, Mr. Speaker, analyze and report to the House the impact of tax waivers on the economy and report any other functions assigned by Parliament. Mr. Speaker, tax waivers are a function of budget. Tax waivers are a function of budget. The impact of a tax waiver will reduce revenue or increase revenue or hold the revenue neutral. The import here is for the Budget Committee to assess the impact of these tax waivers. There is nowhere in the functions of the Finance Committee that talks of budget tax waivers. Mr. Speaker, you can talk about the overall fiscal impact, but my view, Mr. Speaker, at the minimum, the Finance Committee must sit together with the Budget Committee, because the Budget Committee will have to assess the impact of these tax waivers on the national budget. For example, today, the minister responsible for finance is to present a mid-year review, and we will have estimations of revenues. Now, we are being called upon to exempt some of this in the form of tax waivers. The impact will be on the budget. And the Budget Committee is the only committee with that mandate to assess the impact of these tax waivers. So, Mr. Speaker, I beg to say that the Budget Committee must sit together with the Finance Committee in approving these tax waivers. Otherwise, you approve one thing, and then the impact of this budget, of these tax waivers, will not be known. Will not be known. And if we are interested in the impact or the analysis of the entire tax waivers, I humbly submit that the Budget Committee must be the one leading this, and the Finance Committee must support them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minority Leader, that is an excellent submission, but you yourself read the standing orders. And so, if you read the one on the Finance Committee, 2262, says the committee shall have A, referred to it, matters that relate to monetary and fiscal policies, loans and financial transactions generally. Refer, that is the underlying word. And so if I'm to refer a matter, which committee am I to refer it to? Finance Committee. But the Budget Committee may, as you refer to, analyze and report to the House the impact of tax waivers on the economy. And so if I am to perform my duty of referring matters, definitely following the standing orders, I have to refer it to the Finance Committee. But if your call is that, and I have no problem with that call, that we should also allow the Budget Committee to join the Finance Committee to consider the referral, I have no problem with that. That I can do the referral. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, first of all, you've nailed the point, and I will not belabor, except to say that it is only the Finance Committee that has its mandate well engraved in the Constitution. And it's clear. If at any point in time a referral is made and we see the need to add leadership of a particular committee to assist by way of some technical support, that is fine. If that call comes, I would support it. But I do not want us to set a very bad precedent that would come and haunt us tomorrow. So, Mr. Speaker, I would not belabor if any referral on tax waiver comes
and we think that we should get the leadership of the budget committee on, so be it. I would want to agree to your ruling so that we can make progress. I thank you.
So I direct that the matter be referred to the finance committee, and the leadership of the budget committee should join the finance committee to analyze and report a comprehensive issue, including, yes, Honorable Mama Yarga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we do accept your ruling, but also because of the leadership that you played, the leadership role you played in crafting these rules, and for the purposes of precedent, and given the opportunity that this matter has raised for us to look at these same rules. If you look at the rules, it says that the budget
actually, we're taking note of it.
Yes.
I don't want to belabor it.
Yes.
We delayed in publishing the final one because of the delay in the composition of the membership of the committees. If not, we have come out with the final edition where the issue you are trying to raise has been taken care of. So, members, let's move on. But there is some new development in the front bench of the majority caucus. I can see 2 ministers in front. That is not normal. We have 1 minister to sit in front to present a paper. I have seen another minister, particularly the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, also seated in front. Are you... Honorable members, I think the Attorney General is not to be taken on. This is unknown to many, and so please don't see it as any attempt to assume any power. Yes, so let's move on. Honorable members, I think at the conclave, we agreed that a few papers be laid. And so, with your kind permission, we'll move to public business. Public business. At the commencement of public business, yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, shall we proceed to order paper addendum and take the only item advertised? And Speaker, let me seek your leave for the business to be taken by the Deputy Minister instead.
Yes, honorable members, my attention has been drawn to the presence of some distinguished visitors to our parliament from the Pan-African Parliament, led by no less a person than the President of the Pan-African Parliament, in the person of His Excellency Chief Fortuna Charumbira. Please, because of the numbers today, they are seated at the left side of the speaker. So you have to acknowledge His Excellency Chief Fortuna Charumbira. He is the president of the Pan-African Parliament. You know, it's situated in South Africa. He is accompanied by the clerk to the parliament in the person of Madame Lindiwe Kumalo. We also have our own former marshal to this parliament. We loaned him to the Pan-African Parliament as the Sergeant at Arms for about 18 years now. He has advanced to the position now of an acting deputy clerk. He's in the person of Major retired Kenneth Akibati. The young ones don't know him, but he was very, very good here as a marshal, a very well-disciplined military officer. We also have the director of a bureau. Here we refer to them as chief directors. In the person of Mr. Marimo Ndamuku. Marimo Ndamuku. Well, where I'm seated, I can't see him, but I'm sure you will have a better sight of him. And then a policy director in the person of Mr. Morad Bularaf. Morad Bularaf is from Algeria. And then the one in charge of protocol, Miss Rumbiza Chisango. Honorable members, they came to attend the AU conference and decided to pay a courtesy call to the members at home here, which is their home. And on your behalf, I did welcome them when they paid a courtesy call on me. But they humbly decided to sit in for a few minutes before they could catch their flight back to South Africa. And so once again, you are warmly welcome to the Parliament of Ghana. I know you enjoyed your stay here. We had a few discussions which we will put before this House because we need to collectively support the Pan-African Parliament to strengthen it to be able to perform its functions efficiently and effectively. It's a pleasure having you. Honorable members, order paper addendum is just a one-pager. At the commencement of public business, presentation Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I can hear the complaints of my colleagues. Table office should do the needful. But before then, shall we revert back to the original order paper? And Speaker, proceed to page 14. Page 14, and take item 8U. I.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I have here Tuesday, 23rd July, 2024. I don't have page 14. So that's my page 14. So why did you decide not to give me page 14?
Yes. Honorable Minority Chief Whip, I think is the printer's level. I have page 14. And members, I'm sure a number of you have page 14. So kindly let us go to page 14 of the original order paper, item U, by the chairman of the committee. We have U, Roman 1, Roman 2, and Roman 3. And I want to, there's also, yes, Roman 1, Roman 2, Roman 3, to be taken together with one bow. Chairman of the committee.
Report of the Finance Committee on the financing agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance, and the International Development Association of the World Bank Group for an amount of $250 million United States dollars for the Ghana Financial Stability Project. Report of the Finance Committee on the request for waiver of import duties, import VAT, import NHIL, import get fund levy, EXIM levy, and the special import levy, amounting to the Ghana cedi equivalent of 1,517,040 euros for the supply installation of integrated e-learning laboratories in senior high schools, Televic Phase 2. Report of the Finance Committee on the request for waiver of import duties, import VAT, import NHIL, import get fund levy, EXIM levy, special import levy, and other fiscal reliefs amounting to the Ghana cedi equivalent of 38,660,000 United States dollars, all materials and equipment to be imported by the Ghana Bauxite Company Limited as a strategic investor under Section 15(1) of the Exemptions Act 2022, Act 1083.
Yes, Honorable Richard Achampong.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in respect of the 250 million IDA facility, the committee met. We raised a lot of issues, and they promised to provide the committee with some information. We don't have those information, so we stood it down. We didn't even discuss it. So I'm shocked to hear that a report is being laid before all of us, because the meeting was inconclusive. So why do you come and lay a report? Chairman, this is your maiden report. So please, Mr. Speaker, the committee still has the opportunity to meet and take a decision. We've not taken any decision on any report. So this is straight to all of us here. We did not take any decision in respect of the 250 million facility. There's no report.
Honorable members.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for that.
Honorable members. Chairman, what do you have to say in response?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's true we met on these referrals, and we agreed subject to. So the report is being laid subject to, and those information have been presented to us, and committee members will see the final report. We cannot print the report without those information that has been given to us. So we are not doing anything illegal, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, we will take you Roman 2 and 3 and defer Roman 1 in view of the objection that has been raised. Clearly, the report is not ready. Yeah, so it can be late. Let's move. Sorry? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, this development is very strange. We haven't even considered it at all. When they attempted to hold a meeting on
please,
this, we
what
raised
did you
issues.
say?
What I'm saying is that we haven't even considered the IDLO, let alone to talk about a report subject to. We haven't. It was stood down on the day you brought it, and we gave you reasons.
Preliminary objections.
Yes,
Honorable members,
so
you are giving us conflicting reports. Because the first statement by Honorable Richard Achampong was that it was considered, but a number of issues were raised, and they agreed to provide the additional information. So no decision had been taken by the committee. That was his position. Now, your position is that it has not been considered at all. Please, let me hear from him. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, when they tabled this transaction, the committee had preliminary objections for which it was stood down at this very first meeting. In fact, one of our concerns was that the Bank of Ghana says we need 15 billion for the financial stability. We asked them to come and set up a Ghana Financial Stability Fund into which those funds will be collected, because what they have brought is just $250 million out of 15 billion. So how are we going to account for it? They need to come and set up a fund. That was our position. And so they stood it down. And for me to be seeing a report subject to what? We haven't even considered it at all.
So your additional information is that you started the consideration, but you haven't completed. But when you say it has not been considered at all, that conveys a different meaning.
Maybe it was fair because not even the memo to Parliament was read before us. Not
what was referred to? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, it's simple. You referred this very document to the Finance Committee. At our first meeting, the very first meeting, we raised some preliminary issues, and we concluded, all of us, that based on the preliminary issues, we will stand down the consideration, provide us with those preliminary issues in terms of information. That will help us to do a further consideration of this referral. We've not done that. So there cannot even be a report. It's as simple as that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Yes, but that is in respect of you, Roman 1. And that is what I have deferred. But I said you, Roman 2 and 3 are laid accordingly, and the reports should be distributed to all members of Parliament. The U Roman 1 is deferred for further consideration by the committee. Yes, let's move on. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, for the past 2 weeks, we've had situations where papers have been late, reports have been late, and we complain that 24 hours after the report or the documents have been laid, members were not given copies. Mr. Speaker, the new chairman of the Finance Committee has just laid a report that some said the report exists, some said it doesn't exist. Mr. Speaker, I want you to direct the table office to start the distribution of what the chairman has laid today, so that we don't have to come tomorrow demanding the report. So if indeed the report exists, the one that you have allowed to be laid, Mr. Speaker, we want to see the table office distributing those reports now, so we don't have to call for it tomorrow. It is very important. Mr. Speaker, things are late. We never see it. And then the public get the impression that we have seen it. Mr. Speaker, to avoid that, once it has been laid, let the table office distribute them for us to see today, so that we don't get ourselves into trouble again. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
Speaker, I'm not sure my good friend is seeking to question the competence of the table office. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's quite unfortunate they can't speak into the mic. Over the years, the table office has demonstrated demonstrable competence, and the orders are clear. As and when sufficient copies are received, then they will go ahead and publish those documents and business on the order paper. They have not fell foul of the provisions of our standing order. I think my good friend is totally out of order, and he should just sit quietly and allow other papers to be laid. He's completely out of order. The table office have been competent so far, and you should at least, if for nothing at all, you give them some credit. For the many years we have been in this house, they have displayed competence. Now, shall we proceed to order paper addendum and take the only business advertised on the order paper?
Honorable members, please let me assist in this matter. We have papers that come from outside. Those are the documents that are referred to, that when we have sufficient copies delivered to the clerk, then they are processed for admission and referred to the business committee to schedule for the consideration of the House. That one, there are sufficient copies to be distributed. But when the report is generated by the House, it's after it is laid that copies will be produced for distribution to members. And the copies are usually distributed through the office generally referred to as the table office, where you have the register. Some of you go to append your signatures. They put it in your, you call them pigeonholes. That's where they put them, and that's where you collect them. They are usually not distributed on the floor. It's only when, during consideration of a report, members say they don't have copies available, that we call on the table office to distribute the additional copies they have. If you have to encourage distribution of copies immediately they are laid, that will disrupt the proceedings of the House. And so we'll take note of the concern you have raised, and then by tomorrow, if copies are not distributed, then we could reconsider the referral. But as at now, I think the proper thing should be done. We should allow the table office to try to produce additional copies that will be sufficient enough to be distributed to members through your pigeonholes. That is what I can say as a matter of practical procedure and the processes of the House. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, we accept your ruling, but just to maybe a guide to the chairman of the Finance Committee as well. We would encourage him that the next time he wants to lay a paper, that paper must actually exist in the case of the 250 million, because what he has done is an attempt to deceive colleagues by saying that a report from a committee exists. So, Mr. Speaker, it will be very important that, because unless you can prove that a report exists, trying to lay a report which doesn't exist is actually, Mr. Speaker, an affront to the integrity of this House. So, Mr. Speaker, the chairman of the Finance Committee must take note. The next time you want to lay a paper, you can only lay a paper that exists, not a non. In fact, he himself said that in the process, we don't lay in the process papers, we lay papers that exist. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, please.
Speaker, we are ready to proceed on to the order paper addendum. And Speaker, I want to seek your leave. I don't know what has come over you this morning. Speaker, I seek your leave for it to be done by the Deputy Minister. You know he's indisposed. You know it. I don't need to tell you.
Happy FM 98.9.
Epahuada bem. Epahuada bem. Epahuada bem. Epahuada bem.
Happy FM 98.9.
Sorry, my attention was distracted by the clock. So I didn't hear what you said. Yes,
Other
please.
people addendum. It's the only business.
We go ahead with
other people addendum.
other paper addendum.
Yes. And Speaker, I sought your leave for it to be done by the Deputy Minister.
Yes, please. Honorable members. Yes, Honorable Deputy Minority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, we have no objection to that.
Honorable members, order paper addendum, presentation and first reading of bills, Ghana Shippers Authority Amendment Bill 2024, Minister for Transport.
An act to establish the Ghana Shippers Authority to regulate the commercial activities of shippers and shipping service providers in the shipment, storage, and delivery of international trade cargo by sea, air, and land, and to provide for related matters.
Honorable members, the bill is presented to the House accordingly and referred to the Committee on Transport for consideration and report to the House. I want to encourage other members, particularly members of the Committee on Constitutional and Legal Affairs, to assist the Committee on Transport in its deliberations. Honorable members, before I proceed, we have other visitors. You can see the public gallery is full. We have visitors from a number of institutions, and it's important I recognize their presence before we proceed. We have 69 visitors from the Otium Pentecost Child and Youth Development Center. They are led by the director in the person of Collins Joe Annan. The institute is located in the Ekumfi constituency. 69 of them are present, and they are to my right at the public gallery. On your behalf, I want to warmly welcome them to Parliament House and to encourage them to keep on coming. And I hope our team will take them through the rudiments of parliamentary practice. You are welcome. Please resume your seats. We have another group made up of 115 pupils from the Adubia United Basic Primary and Junior High School. They are led by the head teacher in the person of Mr. Sensu Peter Atta. The school is located in the Manso Adubia constituency. I don't recall the name of a constituency called Manso Adubia. Manso Adubia. That's the name of the constituency. Manso Adubia.
It's Manso Adubia, Mr. Speaker.
Adubia.
Adubia, ADU. Manso
Yes.
Adubia.
That is one of the new creations.
No, it's been here since 2013.
2020.
2013.
created in 2013.
2012. 2012.
I'm not sure you are right, not even 2012.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, it was created in 2012, but came to being in 2013. And I've been in this chamber since 2013. And
yeah, I recognize your face.
Sure, but that is the name of the constituency. Listen, only, all right. Mr. Speaker, on the Government Assurances Committee, you were our special patron, and I was the chairman. And I always interacted with you here in this very chamber. Thank you.
I used to refer to the constituency as Manso constituency. I didn't know that there was a Dubia attached to it.
Yes, there are two Manso constituencies. It used to be one. Yes. And then in 2012, it was split into two. The Manso Nkwanta and Manso Edubia.
Oh.
That's it. So it used to be one constituency.
Thank you so much. We have also students from Gomwa East constituency. There are 79 in number from the Hope College. They are led by the head of department in the person of Thomas Kodo. Yes, there are also quite a number here. And we also have, please resume your seats. We also have students from Insia Senior High School, Axim Girls Senior High School, Axim Community Tech, Jiraman Senior High School. These are all located in the Evaluate Ajumuro Jira constituency, and they are led by the group leader in the person of Mr. Albert Saki. Please, all of you, rather from Adubia United Basic, Hope College, and the current students, you are all welcome to Parliament. And I hope that you will not make it a one-day wonder, 9-day wonder. You continue to come so that you can learn and perform better than us in the future. With this, I move on. Please resume your seats. We may now move to the main item. Yes.
Speaker, with respect, before that, shall we take the last business on the original order paper, page 15, item 8W and 8X on page 15.
Page 15, item
W and X.
Honorable members, we are being called upon to take the items numbered W and X at page 15 of the order paper. W is by the chairman of the committee, and this time it's a joint committee. Mines, now we have committee on energy, and then another committee on lands and natural resources. The chairman is to lay the report for and on behalf of the joint committee.
Reports of the Joint Committee on Mines and Energy and Lands and Forestry on the Songo Salt Mining undertaken by Electrochem Ghana Limited.
Honorable members, the report is laid accordingly and for distribution to all members of parliament. Then we take X by the chairman of the committee.
Report of the Committee on Mines and Energy on the 2024 work program of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation.
Honorable members, this report is also laid accordingly and is for distribution to all members of parliament. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy that the former chairman of the committee is here. As far as there were some provisions that were made in the report, and those monies were not going to be used by GNPC. And we asked that they should bring us a report from the Ministry of Energy to show us how those monies were going to be expended, or else it should be expunged. Since then, they have not returned to us. 3 days ago, I drew the attention of the clerk to it, and I'm happy that the former chairman is here. And so for them to have a report being laid, when we have not agreed on that, I'm sorry that my ranking is not here. Another kangaroo laying.
And why is the whole chairman laying that?
Yes, that's the point I'm making.
Yes, chairman, yes.
And we're talking about almost $45 million.
Yes, I want to hear from the chairman of the committee. Yes, please.
Yes. Yes. Mr. Speaker, some issues were raised, and we pushed them to furnish the answers to your clerk. They are all there for their perusal, but they do not affect the substance of the matter. So when you are on your feet and you still want to interrogate, it is up to you, but whatever was required, all the residual issues are with the clerk. So I will crave the indulgence of Mr. Speaker that my good friend should liaise with the clerk so you can internalize all the papers you need, which you can use for arguments on the House floor. But the substance of the document, we have not departed from it. All the residual matters are with the clerk, with respect.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, you have a situation where GNPC is asked to contribute huge sums of money, millions of dollars, to the Ministry of Energy for a project nobody knows what the project is about. And all we asked was that give us a report of give us a report on what the project is all about, the scope of the report, the amount involved, and the justification why GNPC should be funding that. And as we speak, they have not brought it. And you incorporate that and for us to approve it. I mean, that's so wrong. And that cannot, this is a very material issue. That and besides that, you see, he was a very fantastic chairman, and I liked him. But as we speak now, I don't know what capacity he was speaking on.
That's all.
Well, what I heard the chairman to have said is that the documents have been deposited with the clerk to the committee, and therefore you could get copies from the clerk to the committee. That is what the chairman said.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me hear.
We needed to have that report, and then need to see as to whether we agree that that allocation should be made. We have not met. But we will vote against it.
Yes, Deputy Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I think the Honorable Member, Honorable Bauer, was right. I was in that meeting, and those requests are made. But I think it's important to know that what we were expecting are very important and must find expressions in this report. And so, yes, if they are with the clerk, it's important. If members have not seen it and expressed their views on those reports and we lay the report, we will not be doing a good service to this House. So I would strongly suggest that we stand down on this report, we make sure that members have opportunity to see those reports, and then we can really come back and lay the report.
Yes, Chairman, what do you say to a request?
With the greatest of respect to the former Minister for Energy, the matters they are complaining of are residual matters which are with the clerk. So when you go and internalize what they've left for us to see, that could be part of your submissions on the floor. But it doesn't change substantially the content of the work program. That is what I'm trying to say. Because they raised issues, they wanted to look at some documents. The documents have been furnished. But those matters are not at the core of the work program. So I don't see why it should hijack, what we are doing. When you are on your feet and you've gone to the clerk to see the documents, it can be part of your contribution at the House floor. But it doesn't change substantially the work program. It doesn't change it at all.
Ranking member.
Mr. Speaker, I am shocked and surprised to see this report. Mr. Speaker, I've quickly glanced through from page 1 to 16, and as far as I'm concerned, I disagree with every single page here in terms of this report. Every single page. Mr. Speaker, we have a lot to do before this report is generated. I am your ranking member. If you claim that documents have been submitted, Mr. Speaker, it's not right and proper that you ferry same to the ranking member so that in collaboration with my competent and intelligent members, we can peruse these documents to determine the way forward. Mr. Speaker, with the greatest of respect, taking regard to this report, I would appeal to you that just as you did with UI, this one to kindly stand it down. Yes. Let's go and do what is right and proper. Then we can come here and consider. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker.
Happy FM 98.9.
Yes, Honourable Minister, Trade and Industry.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the recognition. Mr. Speaker, I just looked at my time. The battery works all right. I checked with the other ones. Mr. Speaker, it's 3 o'clock. Mr. Speaker, we thought that there was a specific item that almost everybody came here, Mr. Speaker, for, and that is for the presentation of the mid-year review. Mr. Speaker, the Energy Committee matters, we could resolve it at the appropriate time. All the matters, Mr. Speaker, that you find here, we can resolve at the appropriate time. Mr. Speaker, for Christ's sake, our colleagues will allow the minister to present the report, what is the name? The mid-year review budget. Let's get that out of the way. It's 3 o'clock, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable member, I think you should be talking to your leadership.
Give me 1 second.
Because they are guiding the speaker as to which item to call first.
I understand that, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, so that is what I'm doing. In view of what is happening, please, honourable members, who defer the laying, not stand down, who defer the laying of that item. And this is in reference to item X, 8X, at page 15 of the order paper. Then we can now proceed to the major item of the day. I agree with the Honourable Minister for Trade and Industry. We spent a lot of time. Can we now do the main item? Please. Is that agreeable?
It is so, Speaker.
Yes.
Happy FM 98.9. Happy FM 98.9.
Honourable members, item 6 is at page 2 of the original order paper. Statements, mid-year review of the budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana for the 2024 financial year. Minister for Finance.
Thank you. The Right Honourable Speaker, honourable members of Parliament, on the authority of His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo,
I present to you the mid-year fiscal policy review of the budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana for the 2024 financial year. The mid-year fiscal policy review presentation is in fulfillment of Section 28 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921. Mr. Speaker, this statement is an abridged version of the mid-year fiscal policy review of the budget statement and economic policy for the 2024 financial year. I respectfully request that the entire mid-year fiscal policy be captured in the Hansa. Mr. Speaker, I want to begin this mid-year policy review by expressing my gratitude to His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for appointing me to serve as the Finance Minister, especially at this critical time in our nation's history. It is such an honor and privilege to serve in this capacity, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. As the Member of Parliament for Karaga and one of your own, I wish to also express my profound appreciation to you, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, for the immense support I have received since I assumed office as Minister for Finance. I will continue to rely on the full cooperation of the House as we work together to serve our country. Growing up as a young boy in Ababu, Tamale, it never crossed my mind that I will one day stand before you to address this august House in this capacity. The young people out there should therefore know that, especially those sitting in the public gallery, that it is possible with hard work. It is possible with hard work, dedication, and by the grace of God, all of you have limitless opportunities to serve our country. Mr. Speaker, the last 2 years have been extremely challenging globally, and Ghana has not been an exception. The difficult economic environment has truly affected businesses and families, particularly the vulnerable in our society. These challenges have severely affected households, increased cost of living, and limited the creation of job opportunities. Our young people continue to seek employment opportunities beyond what the state can provide. Mr. Speaker, it has indeed been a difficult time, and I deeply empathize with our fellow Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, over the last 2 years, government has embarked on a number of decisive measures to get us back on the path of fiscal consolidation, economic stability, and growth. And I'm happy to note that these policies we have implemented are yielding the expected results. Growth continues to exceed our expectations. The 4.7% growth rate reported by the Ghana Statistical Service for the first quarter 2024 exceeds the 3.1% recorded in the same period in 2023. Inflation is declining. End June inflation rate of 22.8%, a reduction of 31 percentage points from the December 2022, which confirms the target of 15% by end 2024 is possible. Exchange rate has largely stabilized compared to December 2022, despite the recent pressures. The 18.6% depreciation rate to the US dollar as of June 2024 represents an improvement over the 22% recorded for the same period last year. And gross international reserves reached 3.1 months of import cover as at end June 2024, against 2.5 months of import cover in the same period last year. Mr. Speaker, it is evident that we are on the right trajectory. The economy is rebounding stronger
than anticipated. The choices we've made and the policies we are implementing are yielding results. We've reversed the negative trends. All the indicators are looking better. I want to assure you that we will stay on this path and continue to make the right choices. Our economy is recovering, and the recovery is fast and strong. Mr. Speaker, over the last 6 months, we've sought to bring some urgency and speed to the implementation of key government programs, and also swiftly provided the necessary support for growth-enhancing initiatives. I am again happy to inform this august House that with the support of His Excellency the President, Cabinet, and all stakeholders, we have successfully concluded the second review of our extended credit facility with the International Monetary Fund, which led to the disbursement of the third tranche of $360 million, bringing total disbursement to about $1.6 billion. We have completed the debt restructuring program with the Official Creditor Committee of Ghana, covering $5.1 billion, resulting in approximately $2.8 billion of debt service relief. This means that we will not service our debt to our official creditors from 2023 to 2026. We have concluded negotiations with our Eurobond holders, covering $13.1 billion, which will lead to a cancellation of $4.7 billion of our debt and provide debt service relief of another $4.4 billion between 2023 and 2026. We've concluded our negotiations with 5 of the 7 independent power producers, which will lead to a saving of $6.6 billion over the remaining lifetime of the power purchase agreements. We've reined in expenditures to ensure we are within the 2024 budget appropriation and exceeded the mid-year non-oil revenue target by 3.7%. In effect, Mr. Speaker, we are living within our means. Indeed, consistent with our programs with the IMF, we are on course to achieving a primary surplus of 0.5% of GDP by end of the year. We've cleared all outstanding bank transfer advice, BTAs, up to 2022, and working hard to pay BTAs from 2023. We've embarked on major reforms of state-owned enterprises, especially those in the energy and cocoa sectors, to be fiscally prudent and reduce their risk on the budget. We've launched the SME Go program to provide financial and technical support to SMEs. We've disbursed 5.4 billion Ghana cedis to support LEAP, school feeding program, capitation grant, and NHIS since January 2024 to reduce the burden on the vulnerable in our society. We've spent about 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to support 1,488,575 students under the free senior high school program between January and June this year. We've paid about 12 billion Ghana cedis to bondholders under our domestic debt exchange program since February to demonstrate our commitment to the program. Mr. Speaker, we've invested almost 10 billion Ghana cedis in the road sector since January 2024 to enhance transportation and spur growth. I can also confirm that government has secured equipment to complement the efforts of our local authorities in improving community roads nationwide. Mr. Speaker, in line with our commitment to infrastructure development, we continue to make progress on projects such as Konfanoti Teaching Hospital, Ofanko Nsawam Road, Keta Water Supply, Obichibi Lamte, and Flower Pot interchanges, the 3 bypasses on the Kumasi-Accra Highway, and the Tema and Pakadam Railway line. We've completed the Prempeh the First International Airport in Kumasi and the Yakubu Tali International Airport in Tamale. Agenda 111 hospitals are at various stages of completion. We have completed the Afari Hospital in Kumasi and many other hospitals across the country. To advance our digitalization drive and expand our unique identification system, we've invested about 135 million Ghana cedis in the National Identification Program since January 2024. Mr. Speaker, this significant progress has been underpinned by an environment of enhanced and inclusive engagement with key stakeholders. These engagements have provided useful feedback, improved our understanding, and boosted our cooperation with stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, the stabilization is real. We are determined to stay the course on our fiscal consolidation program. Increased attention will continue to be given to prudent management of approved expenditures and improved revenue mobilization. We will also continue with our programs of delivering critical physical and digital infrastructure. To generate economic activity and increase growth, we will focus on increasing our investments in the road sector under the Economic Growth Improvement Program area. This program will ensure that roads are built to connect producing areas to market centers and to key tourist sites. Accordingly, certain critical economic roads have been prioritized. We are structuring a financial arrangement that will ensure the timely completion of these strategic roads. The Accra-Kumasi Highway, Accra-Takoradi Highway, Takoradi-Agona-Nkwanta Junction, and Tema-Afenya Road. We will work with the private sector to close the national housing deficit and optimize land use in urban areas. We will use public-private partnership to deliver public infrastructure projects. Mr. Speaker, Cabinet has also granted approval for the disbursement of an additional 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to provide relief and bailout for those whose funds have been locked up in the fund management companies. The establishment of a framework for the reintroduction of road and bridge tolls in 2025. The operationalization of the integrated property tax system and a review of the fiscal responsibility rules to include a debt rule to support debt sustainability, as well as the establishment of independent fiscal council. Mr. Speaker, our outlook for the rest of the year also takes cognizance of key risks. The IMF this month has already noted that the global economy is in a sticky spot. Upside risk to inflation and their impact on interest rates remain. These coexist in an environment of escalating trade tensions and increased policy uncertainty. On the domestic front, we recognize the need to meet large debt service payments relating to our just-ended debt operations. We will continue to review the performance of key SOEs and engage stakeholders to decisively mitigate their risk. Despite these significant risks, this mid-year fiscal policy review reassesses government's commitment to pursue growth in a context of fiscal consolidation and debt sustainability. Mr. Speaker, the developments in key operations for the economy, as at mid-year, have prompted shifts in some of the assumptions that underpin the 2024 budget, presented in November 2023. There have been changes in amortization, interest costs due to the external debt operations, and disbursement forecast for externally funded projects. In this regard, we will remain within the appropriation for 2024. Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, we are not seeking supplementary funds in this mid-year review. We are determined to be more efficient, strategic, and intentional to enrich and entrench fiscal consolidation and strongly promote growth. Mr. Speaker, in today's presentation of the mid-year policy review of government, I'll provide updates on the following key areas: an update on the macro and fiscal performance for the year 2023, a review of the implementation of the 2024 budget for the first half of the year, the current economic developments and outlook, progress made on the implementation of key government policies, particularly of the IMF-supported PCPEG. the status of Ghana's debt restructuring program, efforts at pursuing growth and development within a stable macroeconomic environment, and the status of implementation of government programs, among others. Mr. Speaker, global growth projections indicate a moderation from 3.5% in 2022 to 3.3% in 2023. This trend is expected to vary slightly into 2024, with a growth of 3.2% and 3.3% in 2025, according to the July 2024 update of the World Economic Outlook. The forecast for sub-Saharan Africa point to an uptick from 3.4% in 2023 to 3.7% and 4.1% in 2024 and 2025, respectively. This growth trajectory is supported by the reversal of earlier anticipated weather-related shocks and ongoing improvements in supply conditions. Mr. Speaker, global headline inflation is expected to decline from 6.7% in 2023 to 5.9% in 2024, and further to 4.4% in 2025. This is according to the World Economic Outlook update for July 2024. In the sub-Saharan Africa region, headline inflation is projected to decrease to 6% in 2024 from 10% in 2023. However, about one-third of the region's countries continue to experience double-digit headline inflation, largely influenced by the pass-through impacts of significant currency depreciations. Mr. Speaker, gold prices have reached highs, record highs, rising by 8% annually due to safe haven flows and robust central bank buying. Prices are expected to increase moderately to $2,100 per ounce throughout 2024. Mr. Speaker, when we presented the 2024 budget to this August House last November, we shared our progress in terms of the macroeconomic performance for the first 3 quarters of 2023. Today, with the full year data at our disposal, I present a more comprehensive update on the performance of the domestic economy in 2023 and the first half of 2024. Mr. Speaker, the year 2023 was characterized by improved macroeconomic stability, resilience, and gradual recovery. Despite the persistent global headwinds stemming from the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we observed some encouraging developments. We witnessed a gradual shift towards economic stabilization, with most key macroeconomic indicators showing signs of improvement, including growth, proving to be more resilient and robust than initially programmed. Mr. Speaker, provisional 2023 GDP statistics published by the Ghana Statistical Service in April 2024 indicate that growth of the economy in 2023 was more resilient than projected. The economy expanded by 2.9% against a target of 1.5%, whilst non-oil GDP grew by 3.3%. In the first quarter of 2024, growth was 4.7%, the highest growth recorded since the second quarter of 2022. This growth largely reflected an expansion in the industry sector, which recorded a growth of 6.8%. Mr. Speaker, headline inflation decelerated significantly to 23.2% as at end December 2023, representing 31.4 percentage points reduction from the peak of 54.6% recorded in December 2022. In June 2024, headline inflation declined to 22.8%. The decline in price pressures was broadly driven by tight monetary policy stance, ongoing fiscal consolidation of government, and low volatility of transport fares due to stable crude oil prices. Mr. Speaker, in 2023, interest rates broadly showed downward trends at the shorter end of the yield curve, whilst rates at the longer-dated segment of the market remained stable. The 91-day and 182-day Treasury bill rates decreased to 29.4% and 31.7% in December 2023, and further down to 24.9% and 24.6% in June 2024, coming down from 35.5% and 36.2% recorded in December 2022. Mr. Speaker, the banking sector rebounded in 2023 with an improved balance sheet performance in December 2023 on the back of increased liquidity flows from deposits and shareholders' funds. Total assets increased by 29.7% to 274.9 billion Ghana cedis as at end December 2023. Total investment also increased by 47.5% to 100.2 billion Ghana cedis, driven by the bank's reallocated portfolios towards short-term investment in response to the increase in short-term money market rates. Mr. Speaker, developments in Ghana's external sector in 2023 was marked by a general reduction in external payments, resulting in a current account surplus and reduced capital and financial account outflow. Consequently, the overall balance of payment recorded a surplus of $461.6 million. The current account improved to a surplus of $1.41 billion, driven by a strong growth in remittances as the reforms in the fintech ecosystem started to yield positive results. Mr. Speaker, for the first half of 2024, the trade balance recorded a provisional surplus of $1.81 billion, higher than the outturn of $1 billion recorded in the corresponding period of 2023. This was the result of a larger increase in exports, which outweighed the increase in imports. The improved trade surplus, together with an even stronger growth in remittances and the lingering reduction in income payments due to the debt standstill, resulted in larger current account surplus of $1.28 billion, and this is 1.5% of GDP. This is recorded in the first half of 2024. This compares with a current account surplus of $863 million, 1.1% of GDP, registered in the same period a year ago. Mr. Speaker, gross international reserves stood at $5.9 billion, equivalent to 2.7 months of import cover for goods and services at the end of December 2023. Our reserves further increased to $6.9 billion, equivalent to 3.1 months of import cover at the end of June this year. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana cedi experienced a relatively moderate depreciation against major international currencies in 2023 compared to the previous year. Cumulatively, the Ghana cedi depreciated by 27.8%, 31.9%, and 30.3% against the US dollar, the pound sterling, and the euro, respectively, in 2023. In the first half of 2024, the cedi depreciated by 18.6%, 17.9%, and 16% against the US dollar, the pound sterling, and the euro, respectively. This compares to a depreciation of 22%, 26.3%, and 23.8% against the US dollar, the pound sterling, and the euro, respectively, in the first half of last year. Mr. Speaker, government fiscal operations for 2023 showed significant improvement in the fiscal balances, demonstrating an effective fiscal consolidation with the primary balance on commitment basis reducing by over 4 percentage points of GDP in 2023 relative to 2022. The fiscal performance for 2023 is presented within the context of the revised 2023 overall deficit on commitment basis, which has a target of 5.7% of GDP, with a corresponding primary deficit of 0.5% of GDP. On cash basis, the revised 2023 overall deficit target was 6.4% of GDP. Overall budget deficit on commitment basis was 31.5 billion Ghana cedis, 3.7% of GDP, compared to the mid-year budget target of 49 billion Ghana cedis, 5.7% of GDP. Primary balance on commitment basis was a deficit of 2.2 billion Ghana cedis, 0.3% of GDP, which was an improvement over the deficit target of 4.1 billion Ghana cedis, 0.5% of GDP, and a significant improvement from the deficit 4.3% of GDP recorded in 2022. The overall budget balance on cash basis was a deficit of 28 billion Ghana cedis, 3.3% of GDP, which is much lower than the target of 55 billion Ghana cedis, 6.4% of GDP, and down from the deficit of 10.6% of GDP recorded in 2022. Primary balance on cash basis was a surplus of 1.4 billion Ghana cedis, 0.2% of GDP, which is an improvement compared to the deficit target of 10.1 billion Ghana cedis, that is 1.2% of GDP, and the deficit 3.2% of GDP recorded in 2022. Mr. Speaker, provisional data on government fiscal operations for the first half of 2024 indicates that revenue mobilization and expenditure execution were broadly in line with the target, resulting in an overall budget deficit on commitment basis of 21.3 billion Ghana cedis. This corresponding primary balance on commitment basis was a deficit of 2.3 billion Ghana cedis, that is 0.2% of GDP, compared to the deficit target of 2.4 billion Ghana cedis, also 0.2% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, the overall cash budget deficit was 36.1 billion Ghana cedis, 3.4% of GDP, compared with the deficit target of 35.2 billion Ghana cedis, 3.3% of GDP. The corresponding primary balance on cash basis was a deficit of 17.1 billion Ghana cedis, 1.6% of GDP, compared with the period target of 8.8 billion Ghana cedis, 0.8% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, total revenue and grants for the first half of 2024 amounted to 74.7 billion Ghana cedis, 1.9% below the target of 76.1 billion Ghana cedis. Despite the shortfalls, the outturn shows a nominal year-on-year growth of 24.6% and constitutes 42.3% of the budget's total revenue for the year. The revenue performance was mainly driven by the strong performance in non-oil tax revenue and non-oil non-tax revenue, which partly offset the shortfalls in oil receipts for the period. Mr. Speaker, total expenditures commitment amounted to 95.9 billion Ghana cedis, below the budget target of 104.8 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, as at end December 2023, the provisional central government and guaranteed debt in nominal terms was 608.4 billion Ghana cedis. This was made up of 351.1 billion Ghana cedis and 257.2 billion Ghana cedis for external and domestic debt, respectively. Mr. Speaker, the provisional total central government debt as at end June 2024 stood at 742 billion Ghana cedis, equivalent to 70.6% of GDP. This indicates an increase of 22% due to the effect of the cedi depreciation and disbursements from creditors. The stock consists of external debt of 452 billion Ghana cedis and domestic debt of 290 billion Ghana cedis, representing 60.9% and 39.1% of the total debt stock, respectively. As a percentage of GDP, external and domestic debt represented 43% and 27.6%, respectively. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's medium-term macroeconomic and financial outlook and prospects remain positive and favorable, despite the challenging global environment. The ongoing improvement in the implementation of the IMF-supported post-COVID-19 program for economic growth reinforces our commitment to navigate through global uncertainties and address domestic challenges. Government's unwavering dedication to maintaining macroeconomic stability, promoting investment, and enhancing social protection programs continues to re-echo our objective of building back better. Mr. Speaker, it has become necessary to revise the 2024 macroeconomic framework due to recent domestic and global economic developments, including the impact of the debt restructuring. Mr. Speaker, key revisions to the macro fiscal targets for 2024 include overall real GDP growth rate revised upwards from 2.8% to 3.1%. Non-oil real GDP growth rate is revised upwards from 2.1% to 2.8%. Growth in GDP deflator scaled down from 20.2% to 17.5%. Nominal overall GDP has been revised from 1.050 billion Ghana cedis, that is 1 trillion Ghana cedis, to 1.020 billion Ghana cedis. Non-oil GDP has been revised from 979 billion Ghana cedis to 977 billion Ghana cedis. End-period head inflation remains unchanged at 15%. Primary balance on commitment basis is maintained at a surplus of 0.5%. And gross international reserves, including oil funds and incumbent or pledged assets, to cover no less than 3 months of imports. Mr. Speaker, accounting for these developments, the revision of the 2024 fiscal framework indicates that the primary balance on commitment basis remains unchanged at the targeted surplus of 0.5% of GDP, in line with the IMF-supported PCPEC objectives. Mr. Speaker, total revenue and grants have been revised upwards by 0.5% to 177.2 billion Ghana cedis in 2024, from the 2024 budget target of 176.4 billion Ghana cedis. This largely reflects increase in non-oil tax revenue, which has been increased from 14.8 billion Ghana cedis to 15.6 billion Ghana cedis to reflect dividends from interest accrued in the ESLA accounts. Mr. Speaker, total expenditure on commitment has been revised downward by 2.1% to 219.7 billion Ghana cedis from the original budget projection of 226.7 billion Ghana cedis. This revision is largely on the back of interest payments, which has been revised downwards by 7.9 billion Ghana cedis to reflect the impact of the external debt restructuring on external interest payments. Mr. Speaker, the overall balance on commitment basis has been revised from a deficit of 50.3 billion Ghana cedis to a deficit of 42.5 billion Ghana cedis. The primary balance on commitment basis is therefore maintained at surplus of 0.5% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, the cash deficit of 54.1 billion Ghana cedis is expected to be financed from foreign and domestic sources. The net foreign financing will amount to 15.2 billion Ghana cedis, representing 28.1% of the total financing for 2024. Foreign financing will include disbursements from the second and third tranche of the IMF program and the World Bank Development Policy Operation Funding. Mr. Speaker, the domestic financing will amount to 38.9 billion Ghana cedis, representing 71.9% of the total financing for 2024. This is expected to be sourced from the issuances of debt at the short end of the domestic market and inflows from Ghana Petroleum Funds. Mr. Speaker, the 2024 medium-term debt strategy will continue to build on the strategy implemented in the first half of the year. The strategy will focus on an appropriate financing mix aimed at supporting fiscal consolidation without compromising macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to report that government has made substantial progress since the completion of the domestic debt exchange program in September 2023. We've successfully honored 2 coupon payments, with the second payment of about 5.9 billion Ghana cedis in February 2024. Furthermore, we are on track to make the third coupon payment of 6.1 billion Ghana cedis in August 2024. The timely payments of these coupons will undoubtedly improve investor confidence in the domestic market and bolster the overall economy. After an 8-month period of negotiations, Mr. Speaker, government and the Official Creditor Committee for Ghana reached an agreement in principle on the 12th January 2024, outlining the broad parameters for the restructuring of official bilateral debts. Subsequently, on the 11th June 2024, government and the OCC reached an agreement on an MOU covering the restructuring of about $5.1 billion of the official bilateral debt. Mr. Speaker, as I indicated earlier, I am pleased to report that this agreement resulted in debt service relief amounting to $2.8 billion over the course of the IMF program, 2023 to 2026, which will provide critical liquidity support to the economy. Mr. Speaker, the MOU will serve as the guiding document for amending individual country claims against Ghana. The next critical step is a direct engagement with the bilateral creditors to implement the mutually agreed restructuring terms. Mr. Speaker, government is committed to securing debt treatment from all other external creditors, consistent with the comparability of treatment principle enshrined in the G20 Common Framework. We are pleased to announce that on the 24th June 2024, government reached an agreement in principle with the Eurobond holders to restructure approximately $13.1 billion of outstanding Eurobonds. Additionally, it reduces the nominal value of the outstanding Eurobonds by $4.7 billion and provides debt service relief of about $4.4 billion during the program period. Mr. Speaker, the debt restructuring will result in reducing the present value of our public debt to 55% by 2028, as embedded in the IMF-supported program. Mr. Speaker, the government of Ghana remains committed to engaging in good faith negotiations with other commercial external creditors, comprising primarily private banks and suppliers or contractors that have provided commercial loan facilities. Our objective is to finalize restructuring agreements with these creditors that uphold the principle of comparability of treatment and addresses Ghana's requirement for debt relief, ensuring a comprehensive and sustainable approach to our external debt obligations. The debt restructuring has been a crucial pillar of Ghana's economic recovery from the 2022 crisis. It has helped to restore confidence in the economy, and the following benefits are evident: rapid restoration of macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability, avoidance of steeper fiscal adjustment, creation of fiscal space for development spending, and prevention of a domestic and external banking crisis. Mr. Speaker, despite the benefits, we remain committed to exercising caution. informed by the lessons learned from our experiences and the sacrifices of the Ghanaian people. Our debt strategy going forward includes deepening reforms to ensure irreversibility and building buffers to reduce vulnerabilities and enhance resilience. Mr. Speaker, in the 2024 budget statement and economic policy, government outlined a series of revenue measures consistent with the medium-term revenue strategy. The measures reflected the commitment of government to improve the tax-to-GDP ratio from the current 14.1% to 18 to 20% by 2027. In the 2024 budget, government amended existing legislation to give effect to the revenue measures. These measures also aim to broaden the tax base and improve tax compliance for a more equitable and efficient revenue system. Mr. Speaker, whilst not all the measures were implemented in the first half of the year through enhanced compliance and enforcement, the Ghana Revenue Authority exceeded its mid-year target by 0.2%. Similarly, non-tax revenue performance, as at the end of June, exceeded the target by 14%. Mr. Speaker, in line with its commitment to ensuring full disclosure of retained internal generated funds by public institutions, government has deployed the Ghana.gov platform to over 1,500 public institutions and also rolled out the Ghana Integrated Financial Management Information System, GIFMIX, to 287 IGF-reliant public institutions. As at the end of June, 140 public institutions, including GRA, had gone live and received payments through the platform, totaling 56.4 billion cedis, an increase of 34.6% compared to the same period in 2023. Mr. Speaker, for the rest of the year, the Ministry of Finance will deepen engagement with both GRA and relevant stakeholders to effectively implement policy, administrative, and regulatory measures to ensure that the revenue targets are met. Mr. Speaker, to broaden the tax base, a simplified digital solution for the operationalization of the modified taxation scheme will be deployed, as well as an electronic bookkeeping system. Additionally, 2,000 more taxpayers will be onboarded onto the electronic invoicing system, the EVAT system, by the close of the year. GRA will also continue with the cleaning of the taxpayer register and onboard more taxpayers onto its electronic systems to improve the taxpayer experience and compliance. In addition, GRA will continue to enforce and enhance data sharing with other tax jurisdictions to boost revenue mobilization. Government will reinstitute the integrated property tax system by synthesizing data from MMDAs, lands valuation, ECG, and other relevant government agencies to create a comprehensive digital property record database that will transform property data management and ensure a more efficient and accurate property tax system. Mr. Speaker, to enhance revenue mobilization by IGF-reliant covered entities, discussions will be held around provisions of incentives to those institutions that exceed their revenue target for the year. The Ministry will continue the deployment of the Ghana.gov payment platform to remaining public institutions and ensure that all those already onboarded go live. Additionally, the outstanding activities for the full rollout and utilization of the gift mix for the processing of IGF expenditures will be completed by the end of the year. Mr. Speaker, government will also develop a framework for the reintroduction of road and bridge tolls to facilitate the processes for the implementation of a modernized and efficient road and bridge tolling system commencing in 2025. Government undertook to ensure that we will have stability and also ensure that the economy continues to grow. Government also continued the implementation of ongoing programs and seeks in this mid-year review to provide an update on the progress and the outlook for the rest of the year. Mr. Speaker, government is determined to improve road infrastructure in the country. This has been done through the construction of new roads and the upgrade and maintenance of old ones. The rehabilitation and maintenance of road infrastructure nationwide are at various stages of completion. This includes Gabosu, Voinzang, ongoing roads, Winneba Kasua, Karaga Town roads, Gushagu Town roads, Tolum Daboya Road, Nanton Karaga Gushagu Highway, Sefuweasu Town roads, Accra Kumasi roads, and many other roads. Some of the completed road projects include the Diasoba, Sintim, Manshia, Anchi, Adjekro, Debra Camp, and others. Sunyani and Brekum inner city roads, Atebubu town roads, Asinfosu, Dunkwa, Oko station, Kohu Tafu, Miasu roads. Mr. Speaker, in addition, the following major roads are at various stages of completion. The rehabilitation of the Tamale-Tatali Road, Phase 2 of the Tema Motorway Roundabout, construction of the flyover over the Accra-Tema Motorway from the Flower Point Roundabout on the Spintex Road to East Legon, construction of the Phase 2 works under the Swami Interchange, dualization of the Sawam of Anko Road, works on the Aguna Nkwanta Takwa Road, works on the Domi Kitasi Road, and Phase 2 of Obichibi Lamte Interchange and ancillary works. Mr. Speaker, our commitment to building an efficient railway network is not just about transportation. It is about fostering economic growth, creating jobs, and enhancing connectivity throughout our nation. The Nsawam Accra Tema Railway line is completed and in use. The construction of the iconic Tema to Mpakadam Railway line is 99% complete and is expected to be fully completed this year. The construction of the Kodokrom-Manso section is expected to be completed before the end of 2024. The Manso-Hanri Valley, which includes the extension of the line into the Takoradi port, is expected to be completed by May 2026. Mr. Speaker, government constructed about 10 fishing ports to improve the livelihood of fishing communities. The Jamestown Fishing Port, which is the last project, is expected to be completed and commissioned by the end of 2024. Mr. Speaker, construction of an oil and gas services terminal at the Takoradi port is 77% complete. In addition, construction of Phase 1 of the Bonkara Integrated Logistics Terminal is about 70% complete. Mr. Speaker, government, in collaboration with its social partners, has developed a draft labor bill 2024 to strengthen labor administration and regulation of the world of work. Key reforms proposed include strengthening labor migration governance, improving employment coordination, extension of maternity leave, and introduction of paternity leave, among others. The labor law is expected to be promulgated before the end of this year. Government continues to reform and position the Youth Employment Agency as a facilitator of jobs for the teeming youth of our country. In the first half of the year, About 90,000 beneficiaries were engaged, including 15,000 youth in community policing, 6,000 youth in community health, 1,500 in prison services, and 2,100 youth in garment and apparel. Mr. Speaker, as part of the preparation towards the conduct of the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections, the Electoral Commission registered voters in 268 district offices and 775 electoral areas. The Commission also compiled the special voters list and managed applications for vote transfers and proxy voting. Mr. Speaker, during the first half of 2024, the National Commission for Civic Education carried out sensitization and awareness creation for a total number of 3.1 million people regarding the peaceful conduct of the 2024 general election. Mr. Speaker, as part of activities to effectively coordinate security coverage for the electoral activities this year, the Police Service has established the Police Election Security Secretariat under the authority of the National Election Security Task Force. Mr. Speaker, in line with our commitment to upholding the rule of law, we have constructed a 12-story state-of-the-art law house to accommodate the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice. This significant project, originally initiated by His Excellency the President during his tenure as Attorney General in 2001, was officially commissioned by him on June 10, 2024. Mr. Speaker, there has been a consistent reduction in irregularities reported by the Auditor General since 2020. Between 2022 and 2023, irregularities reduced by 32%, amounting to savings of about 5.2 billion Ghana cedis. Also, due to the policies, guidelines, and the PFM measures implemented by the Ministry of Finance, about 99.26% of all irregularities identified in 2023 by the Auditor General are recoverable. The Ministry of Finance is working with the Internal Audit Agency, the internal audit units, and audit committees to recover these amounts. Mr. Speaker, this economy has been anchored on the entrepreneurial spirit of our SMEs over the decades. They employ 80% of our people and contribute about 70% to GDP. However, SMEs continue to have challenges regarding access to finance, widening skills gaps, limited access to technology and digital infrastructure, and regulatory constraints as well. Mr. Speaker, as I indicated earlier, the SME Growth and Opportunity Program, SME Go, has been launched to connect SMEs with resources, expertise, and opportunities. Altogether, we've mobilized about 8.2 billion Ghana cedis through Development Bank Ghana, Ghana Exim Bank, Ghana Enterprise Agency, and other partners for SMEs to grow and increase competitiveness in regional markets. We are grateful to the IFC for the $400 million and to the Africa Development Bank for the $45 million support provided towards this program. We will also continue our collaboration with key institutions such as the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Ghana Commodity Exchange, the Venture Capital Trust Fund, GESAL, NEP, MASLOC, and YEA to support the SME ecosystem in this new era of SME development. Mr. Speaker, we prioritize the agricultural sector due to its far-reaching impact on the economy and livelihoods. To improve our food security, we are implementing the Enhanced Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2. Through this program, we introduced the input credit system and adopted technology-driven platforms, enabling farmers and value chain actors to operate transparently and efficiently. Mr. Speaker, to support the private sector in enhancing fish and aquaculture production, we've scaled up the supply of premix fuel since January 2024. Additionally, we are also partnering with private enterprises and are providing employment to about 10,000 people to expand and venture further into agriculture. Mr. Speaker, government has remained focused on expanding the economic enclave projects under the Ghana Cares program. We secured 50,000 acres of land to ensure security of tenure and de-risk agricultural investments, thereby attracting private sector involvement in the cultivation of rice, maize, soya, poultry, grains, vegetables, and animal husbandry. At the Kusunya EEP in the Greater Accra region, government has taken significant steps to de-risk private sector operations for the cultivation of rice, including the completion of 18 kilometers of feeder roads from Chopoli Junction on the main Accra-Ada road to the enclave, extension of 18 kilometers electricity to the enclave, development of a 20-kilometer irrigation canal for consistent water supply and year-round farming. Additionally, we have trained about 500 youths on agricultural entrepreneurship through a $6.1 million partnership with the MasterCard Foundation. These investments have resulted...
Honorable Minister, may you just have a short break? I will suspend.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Sitting for 5 minutes. Take your breath, and I will ease up and come back in 5 minutes. Sitting is suspended for 5 minutes.
98.9 FM Pahwada Benjumedieni. If you check with your time, it's exactly 4 in the PM. Now, Speaker of Parliament, Akase, Minister of Finance in Nyabotreka Kano take 5 minutes break. Now, when you go live on Facebook and then you live on radio, the presentation of the mid-year budget review 2024. Medical Kacho said the main budget was presented November last year. Now, your use budget no edu afini fin, and it is only wise, prudent, and smart. Say ye be here extra money and here. Indeed, so the finance minister now they are not asking for extra funds. Na yewe at least ne waka so far no yendi eho enkomo kwaku na negbe mawuli. As my AD say, Mauli Koku Nanegbe Mauli. That's right. Member of the NDC communication team is already seated. Citizen Atodadzi, General Secretary GCPP Amanyoko, and Alhaji Kabe, a member of the MPP communication team. Penifoi Atanase, Mema Mohama Mwakwaba. I think, sir, the said the first half of the mid-year review budget, Akwakugu. In 5 minutes' time, they'll reconvene na Yatwaso. Alaji, first of all, a general impression of Minister of Finance, Etisen. This is his first presentation in terms of the budget or Parliament. The delivery, I'm sure, said some point. He's very clear and audible. That's very clear. But content, analysis of Newaka so far day. Any high points for you?
Minchia T4 Herfo Akwan Hood also. Minchia Miami Ba Valentino no te Kolotekole MPP parliamentary.
That's why I house to house in the park. I've seen some of his pictures. You're 5 minutes into your monitor.
Yeah. We a friend say, sir, Papa we. Adam Malasa, minister.
Muhammad Amin Adam.
Why are they? And I say, the relationship humanly. And ne ayonkufa. And said the name the Etienne. Ama, ama the whole parliament, I think, Omo.
Okay.
They have.
And he's also a member of parliament.
And the entirety of the nation are cool with him. Sana Mahuno. They are cool with him.
Okay.
Obayano on my update before, my baby water moji akunya will be bisa. Na very good and open and waka. And Obabea waiting so tina from town hall meeting in UK or Bagada or boss will say. And was some my hints on the Saturday nation ombe ma sebi expenditure be embe ka homa ne be how be a MI because be ono afi na ye pese oboso ne ye koyenim. Na wodi bibi be shem na ye ya. So far me say bia wagina nam adi na asem so. And na wachre baby a economy no ahondi pese epija ejina. Watimi aka ne ma ba komenu bi aisha achre. Continued growth exceed 4.7 from a revise of 3.1. Okay. Inflation declined ending June 22.8, near 25 something. And I think so exchange rate largely established 18.6% from previous 22% last year. That is equal earning. Strong reserves, gross international reserves for 3.1 months. That means it's great to be a Ghanaian. Because yes, under this dispensation, necessarily why you cost what? No wonder. It was like given to them.
Yeah, import government mean do 6 months.
Me see 3.
Yeah, in do 6 months.
3, me see in Drua, ne wahi, and san over fire kura, ne wahi. He's doing well, watch it. Hey, or conanim. So what I say, and near my so far, and say inflation is still what me aso muka kranya die still double digits. So what I say.
Yeah.
And relatively from 22 CD depreciation to 18. Into no say why had there baby on to me cast on ya there because your parents say a buffer and it has come down. If no matter how little it is, at least we should show some appreciation. And what I say on our buy so government program to project you know. Mitie even Nkurumakura or a housing, you know. I see what they are doing now is to go out there to meet private sector.
Okay.
Non-pesca. Those projects government they are they don't want to come to the finance minister say or pesca man alone near some no they are engaging and not just even Sagle Mama engage process kura ekoswa ya tender 5 companies aba and almost see Navy, baby, almost bibi kofodua, and also sir, they have engaged some private companies, which means you free commitment now. Emma, might be a card no. They are trying to wind up on best in terms of
affordable house.
You know, big projects, but in capital intensive, no. And Mr. Baumia cry hinty side or no one yakwa sad now obey because I was say Saneman Emma comment me stuck. It might be BOG. Yeah, Sika Insu, Sabi. Nipak to have been a tax. Ubio Kakrapena home Asamaba. Into the say who say we must go out of the box. Think about this into me. So far, I mean that what me I holding who you are carried who ye, and I think going forward, you know, so the case 2026 now in the IMF program no. We hear good news.
Okay. He started by saying, and I quote, growing up as a young boy in Abuabo Tamale, it never crossed my mind that I would one day stand before you to address this august house in this capacity. The young people out there should therefore know that it is possible. With hard work, dedication, and by the grace of God, one can have the opportunity to serve this country, unquote. Sounds like what to you, citizen? It is possible. I don't know if politics in Kakrabe Mwana, but obviously so because we are in an election year. Okay, we had the uproar in Parliament.
Majority side.
On both sides, we're more or less rejecting it, and the others also applauding it. Yes, me too, citizen. Alaji Kabe.
Na yetifu na shofa washing people.
Yeah.
Baby, I think the word it is possible.
Yeah.
It is Happy FM. I always give it to the MPP in terms of when it comes to packaging.
Okay.
And branding. They do very well with it. And the word it is possible is is a very good phrase because
Effective baby,
me, I never say never. Okay.
Bribia possible.
Yes. I maybe at least let me give it a try and see what can happen, because there was a possibility it could happen. So I think that it's timely, and he took the opportunity to do the usual politics. After all, one more going our politicians about to bring to their way. Indeed, it is possible, and it is very possible that even though in the face of Akwana Beni offer or more to retain power, it is possible we would overthrow this government.
Overthrow, okay.
It is very, very possible that this breaking the 16, when we break 16,
how
with the dollar,
okay.
with fuel prices, everything. Into them, the other one, it is possible that you able to one as it.
Okay.
Into everything is possible.
Everything is possible.
The change is coming.
I see.
Bibi,
Citizen. Yeah.
I think the Alaji Kasana Mitena is as if the man MPP have been wab power. Okay.
I don't know impression.
This is not a mid-year budget review of Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam.
Of the president.
Of the president and of the government.
Yeah.
Right? So when Alaji says, why are they from where? From where?
I think he was looking at the man, Adam, and the impact so far.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There. Taking it from the fact that it is not his mid-year budget review.
Okay.
He's doing it on behalf of the president.
That's true.
Okay. So if we are looking at the issues, he came on in February 2024. Just about a month or 3 weeks ago, Ojina UK, okay, tomorrow, watch the exchange rate. My exchange rate was still on the phone. So what am I supposed to be watching? Me, it's not about, you see, we have become tired of the flair and all those things. Yes, we would love to see him and what he does, but we want results.
Okay. Mame ko kokuho no so nka kakra na yen ko back to parliament. Mauli.
Yeah. About the Minister of Finance. Well, make I say ni compose ya ni niama there no problem. Yeah. But compose ya ni niama there yemfa nkojum.
Okay.
What do you say?
Content, you know.
Yeah. And baby aye wo enne. Hwe all the kind all kasa no wo say exchange rate are stabilize.
Yeah.
But which any citizen can and so be catch us exchanges are stabilized. First cry near epicenter says can dollar no one it was fast like 4 cities 20 pesos and it's in the range of over 15 cities. In fact, close to 16 cities until you can stabilization. What are you talking about?
But I'll say the same period we are looking at, you know. And the rate of this depreciation 18.6% as against 22.0 within the same period I can say.
Fine.
Is that not
of last year?
Yes.
No, but the point I'm making is so who can say you stabilize exchange rate, stabilize that is no stabilization.
Okay.
You picked it from 4.2. So if you percent your comparison, I mean, that is what, as an NTC person, that's what, because Uber we have the men, we have a first class team with an economic measure, and that is what we are comparing it with. So that one, we haven't seen it. So,
back to Parliament, Minister of Finance.
They are also leveraging approximately $7 million in climate funds from the World Food Programme. Mr. Speaker, at Kumeu in the Ashanti region, we've developed and allocated 1,000 acres of land to build the largest poultry brooder house and hatchery in Ghana. Additionally, 600 acres of rice has been harvested, and 300 acres of maize has been cultivated in the first season of production. Mr. Speaker, at Banda in the Otu region, 950 acres of land has been cleared, and 40 kilometers of access roads has been constructed to the farm. 2 private sector actors are ready to start cultivation of yam, potato, and maize. Mr. Speaker, government will operationalize 2 new enclaves in Sunsong in the northern region and Yagaba in the northeast region. Mr. Speaker, to strengthen the digital skills for our youth under the Ghana Cares program, a digital youth skills hub is being constructed on a 5-acre plot at the University of Ghana. Phase 1 of the project is on course for completion by the end of the year. Mr. Speaker, under the trade and industry sector, we are committed to providing targeted support to the pharmaceutical, textiles, and garments, as well as the automotive industries. Our efforts aim to attract new investments, expand job creation, and enhance value addition. Under our 1D1F flagship initiative, we've supported 321 factories across 142 districts nationwide, creating jobs for about 170,000 Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, guided by the Strategic Anchor Industries Framework, 13 vehicle assembly plants has been established and 4,700 vehicles produced locally. We aim to penetrate the sub-regional market through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Framework and pursue local assembly of electric vehicles in line with our electric vehicle policy. Mr. Speaker, Ghana is being positioned as an internationally competitive tourism destination. Tourist arrivals have increased from about 500,000 in 2023 to almost 600,000 in the first half of 2024. This is an increase in several hundreds of thousands of tourists. And this has led to receipts of about $1.8 billion US compared to $1.5 billion over the same period last year. To complement this progress, we've enhanced tourism infrastructure, marketing, supply chain links through the redevelopment of key tourist sites such as Ebri Gardens, Ya Asantua Mausoleum, the museum at Ejisu, and the Picoro slave camp. Mr. Speaker, we have made significant progress in enhancing sports infrastructure, talent development, and ensuring that our athletes have the resources they need to excel. Ghana successfully hosted the 13th African Games from the 4th to the 23rd March 2024 in Accra at the new international standard multi-complex sports facility at Boteman and the newly commissioned University of Ghana Sports Stadium. We placed 6th in the medals table with a total of 69 medals, 19 gold, 29 silver, and 21 bronze. This is Ghana's best performance at an international multi-sport event so far. Mr. Speaker, the Black Challenge of Ghana also participated and won the trophy in the 2024 African Amputee Football Cup of Nations tournament, hosted and organized in Egypt. This win secured the team a spot at the 2026 Amputee World Cup tournament. Mr. Speaker, government continued to implement various social intervention programs to protect the poor and the vulnerable, to alleviate poverty and improve the country's human development indices. Speaker, there is empirical evidence that education is the great leveler that improves opportunities for any child along the social stratification. As UNICEF has already pointed out, education is a key social and cultural right and plays an important role in reducing poverty and child labor. Furthermore, education promotes democracy, peace, tolerance, development, and economic growth. Convinced about these objectives, government has over the last 8 years prioritized education. This is to ensure that over time, skills will be improved to protect and impact productivity, to grow the economy, and to improve living standards. Mr. Speaker, in 2008, His Excellency the President, then the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, announced the policy of free senior high school. And for 8 years, he kept his conviction. On 2nd March 2017, government allocated 400 million Ghana cedis to implement free senior high school. We also indicated that our oil resources will fund the program, as the President believes that every Ghanaian child must benefit from the oil resources of our country. The impact of the program is evident. To date, a total of over 9.9 billion Ghana cedis has been spent on the program, and a cumulative total of 5.7 million young people have benefited from this initiative, many of whom may not have had this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, to complement this effort, we provided facilities under TVET to empower our young people with employable skills, with 168,000 students enrolled in the 2023-2024 year. Additionally, we are constructing 10 STEM schools and 10 STEM centers across the country. We are also building the first 2 STEM colleges of education in Karga in the northern region and Tepa in the Ashanti region. We have distributed 900,000 tablets for secondary school students. Quality education has been given considerable focus, Mr. Speaker, because the performance of the students at WAXI in 2023 is also the best since 2015. Mr. Speaker, to ease the financial burden on parents and guardians of public basic school pupils, government disbursed about 38 million Ghana cedis as capitation grant for the first half of 2024 to ensure schools have adequate resources to provide quality education. Additionally, funds have been released for the payment of feeding grants to all public schools, public special schools, institutions for the handicapped for the 2024 academic year, thereby further supporting the vulnerable students in our country. Mr. Speaker, it is worth noting that the capitation grant has increased from 5 Ghana cedis in 2016 to 15 Ghana cedis in 2024. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana School Feeding Program commenced in 2006-2007 with 1,950 beneficiaries. Over the years, there has been considerable growth of the program, from 1.6 million beneficiaries in 2016 to over 3.8 million beneficiaries in 2023, and is currently in the region of 4 million beneficiaries. In 1 year, Mr. Speaker, we have added over 200,000 students. Mr. Speaker, an amount of over 662 million Ghana cedis was paid to caterers as at the end of June 2024. The program continues to provide employment of over 34,000 caterers and cooks, especially women, to generate income to enable them to take care of their families. The program has also created a ready market for local farmers, thereby boosting the local economy. Mr. Speaker, to protect the real value of the benefits for most of our vulnerable households, government has, in the last 2 years, increased the LEAP grant from 64 Ghana cedis in 2022 to 256 Ghana cedis in 2024 per beneficiary, meaning that we have doubled the grant every year for the last 2 years. This measure ensures that the program's outcomes are effectively achieved. Under the enhanced LEAP, the number of beneficiary households has increased from 212,917 people in 2016 to 324,073 in 2024. Mr. Speaker, as part of government digitalization agenda, the e-health project is progressing steadily with concentration on health centers and polyclinics this year. As of June 2024, a total of 49 polyclinics and 144 health centers have been connected, enhancing access to patient data at the point of care, claims management, and real-time biosurveillance data. This has significantly strengthened the country's health delivery system. Mr. Speaker, the following projects were completed between January and June 2024. The Urology and Nephrology Center of Excellence at the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, district hospitals at Kumeu and Fomina, and CHIPS compounds at Debiso, Nkrofo, Denchira, Anani Krom, and Kwanyako, and many more CHIPS compounds across the country. Mr. Speaker, as part of government efforts to increase access to health service, the National Health Insurance Authority reviewed the benefit package to include childhood cancers, prostate cancer, mental health care, annual health check, dialysis services, and care for sickle cell patients. Mr. Speaker, by the end of 2024, the NHIS intends to increase enrollment of active members from 14.5 million, representing 44.3% coverage, to 20.8 million, representing 63.5% of the population. NHIS will also intensify sensitization on the electronic enrollment platforms by introducing cashless payments, integration with GiveMix platform, e-receipts, and e-payments. Mr. Speaker, government continues to honor the payment of trainee allowances. A total amount of 290 million Ghana cedis was paid as allowances to 104,000 nursing trainees from January to June 2024. Similarly, a total of 260 million Ghana cedis has been released as allowances to 67,000 teacher trainees for the 2023-24 academic year. Mr. Speaker, government initiated the implementation of various activities towards achieving effective management and utilization of water resources, as well as improving the general water quality. Works progress steadily under the Water for All agenda. The following projects are completed: Ejura Water System, Wunensi Water System, and Bole Water System. The following are at various stages of completion: Wenchi Water Supply Project, Sekendita Kradi Water Supply Project, Keta Water Supply Project, Yendi Water Supply, Tamari Water Supply, Damongo Water Supply, Sunyari Water Supply, and Techiman Water Supply Project. Government is further committed to increasing access to improved sanitation and water supply in Greater Accra and Ashanti regions. A total of about 40,000 and 24,000 household sanitation facilities were provided in the Greater Accra metropolitan area and the Greater Kumasi metropolitan area, respectively, benefiting over 400,000 people. Mr. Speaker, our people are burdened with long commutes and mountain stress due to the lack of decent and conveniently located housing. Government, in partnership with private developers and the banks, is looking at building high-rise, reasonable price accommodations within the cities of Accra and Kumasi, and in future extend to other big cities. In the coming weeks, the Minister for Works and Housing will present the full housing reform package in the private sector at ISCOM. Speaker, government during the first half of the year continued to implement the National Rental Assistance Scheme, which has benefited 2,074 individuals to date. Mr. Speaker, under the National Food Flood Control Program, over 1,000 kilometers of drains have been newly constructed, rechanneled, and maintained nationwide to reduce the impact of the perennial devastating floods. In addition, preparatory activities towards the construction of houses for households affected by the controlled spillage of the Akosombo Dam were completed following extensive engagement with stakeholders. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, I'm coming to conclusions. Mr. Speaker, we stand at the midpoint of 2024 with a strong economic performance and a brighter future. This mid-year fiscal policy review confirms our unwavering commitment to fiscal consolidation, economic growth, and protecting the vulnerable in our nation. Today, I've outlined the remarkable progress we've made in fiscal consolidation. Our economy is rebounding, evidenced by the stability we have demonstrated. Our progress enables us to be confident about the future. This is the result of effective implementation of the policies and programs outlined in the 2024 budget. Together, Mr. Speaker, we have successfully navigated challenges in the last 7 months. We continue to stay the course and achieve successes with the IMF ECF program. We have concluded the external debt restructuring with the OCC, Eurobond holders, and key energy sector IPPs. We have kept our promise to DDEP bondholders with coupon payments. We've invested in our infrastructure, our people, and our future. And we've seized this opportunity to commence reforms in public financial management, financial sector, and state-owned enterprises. More importantly, we are rebuilding trust, we are regaining policy credibility, restoring confidence in the economy, and raising hope for our businesses and families. We are proving that quick recovery is possible. We are proving that growth with fiscal consolidation is possible. Mr. Speaker, this mindset of possibility is critical. That is what transforms individuals, families, and communities, businesses, and nations alike. It has been the same mindset that has guided our actions as a government since 2017. Mr. Speaker, it took a possibility mindset to expand and improve existing strategic social interventions to cater for the vulnerable in our society. That possibility mindset underpinned how we invested in the Ghana School Feeding Program to increase beneficiaries from about 1.6 million people in 2016 to about 3.8 million beneficiaries this year. Increased spending on LEAP from 49 million Ghana cedis in 2016 to 423 million Ghana cedis today to support 350,000 households, compared with 212,000 households in 2016. Increased spending on the NHIS from 1.1 billion Ghana cedis in 2016 to 6.5 billion Ghana cedis in 2024. And through digitalization, we've increased active membership from 10.8 million in 2018 to over 17 million people. We've increased the capitation grant per child from 5 Ghana cedis in 2016 to 15 Ghana cedis in 2024. We've increased the share of the District Assembly Common Fund to persons with disabilities by 50%. We've doubled the number of student loan recipients from 30,000 on average per year to 58,000 per year currently by removing the guarantor policy under the Student Loan Trust Fund. Mr. Speaker, this critical mindset of possibilities was our guide when we introduced the free senior high school program, which has increased total enrollment year on year from about 800,000 in the 2016-2017 academic year to 1.4 million in the 2023-2024 academic year. We introduced the National Rental Assistance Scheme to assist people with rent advance, which has benefited over 2,000 people so far. Introduced a medical drone delivery service and onboarded over 2,700 health facilities. Introduced mobile money interoperability, which has led to Ghana achieving 95% access in financial inclusion. Introduced the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program, which delivered 1,609 completed projects in all 275 constituencies. Introduced the Zongo Development Fund and constructed over 200 infrastructure projects in Zongo communities. Introduced the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, NEP, to support over 10,000 beneficiaries, and introduced the paperless system at the ports and digitalized the operations of the DVLA. Introduced the 1G1F initiative to diversify our economy. To date, 321 1G1F projects are at various stages of completion, with 169 fully functional and providing over 170,000 direct and indirect jobs. Introduced the Planting for Food and Jobs to provide critical inputs and improve food security. Instituted the Year of Return and Beyond the Return and the December in Ghana initiative to promote tourism. Created 6 new regions to deepen decentralization and participatory development. Mr. Speaker, that mindset of possibilities has enabled us to keep the lights on, to clear all accumulated BTAs up to 2022, constructing 120 courts with 80 completed and 150 bungalows for the judiciary. Restore teacher and nurses training allowances that were cancelled. Protect the deposits of 4.6 million Ghanaians by saving the banking system from collapse. Absorb examination fees for all students for BEC and WACC examinations. Guarantee access to the critical drug for sickle cell patients in Ghana. And this is the first of such initiative in Africa. Network and digitalize the records of all teaching, regional, and district hospitals in Ghana to ensure that referrals are possible without the patient's folder being physically transported. Implement the motor insurance database to enable verification of insurance status on mobile phones. Pass the Right to Information Law. Distribute 20,000 LPG cook stoves and about 430,000 Japa stoves to promote clean cooking. Mr. Speaker, the same mindset of possibilities was present when we faced COVID in 2020. We demonstrated compassion to ensure that we paid public sector workers full wages even when revenue sharply declined. Provided free water to all households for a year. Provided free electricity to lifeline consumers and a 50% discount to other consumers for a whole year. It is important to note that between 2009 and 2016, the average annual increase in end-user electricity tariffs was 50% per year. Between 2017 and 2023, the average annual increase was 11.1%. We commenced Agenda 111 health infrastructure projects, and they are at various stages of completion. We rolled out the 750 million Ghana cedis CAP bus program to directly support micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. Established a 2 billion Ghana cedi guarantee facility to support all large enterprises and for job retention. Provided cooked meals to 27 million vulnerable persons and worked with faith-based organizations to distribute dry food packages to 470,000 families. Mr. Speaker, we also have demonstrated what this mindset of possibilities can achieve in the infrastructure space. We increased the road network from 78,000 kilometers to nearly 100,000 kilometers. We've invested significantly in road network expansion and improvement, including the construction of over 2,000 kilometers of asphaltic overlay, as well as the rehabilitation and maintenance of about 11,674 kilometers of roads. Completed the Tamale Interchange, Pokwasi Interchange, Temamoto Way Interchange, Obichibi Lamte Interchange, Flower Pot Interchanges, and few others are under construction. We've completed and commissioned Prempeh, the first international airport, Yakubu Tali International Airport in Tamale, and phase 1 of the Sunyani Airport rehabilitation. We restored the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, constructed 2 major fishing harbors in Elmina and Jamestown in Accra, completed the iconic Tema Mpakadam Railway, initiated the construction and rehabilitation of Achimota Nsawam Accra Tema Kojokrom Takwa Kojokrom Mansu Railway, completed 6 abandoned Eurogate health sector projects and 3 other stalled projects we inherited, including Upper West Regional Hospital, Ga East Municipal Hospital, Tyne District Hospital, Tepa Municipal Hospital, Chief Uprasu District Hospital, Asante Akim Central District Hospital, Formina Hospital, Bepai Hospital, and Kumeu Hospital. We constructed sea defense projects to protect communities. We constructed sea defense projects to protect communities in Komenda, Nimbo Prampram, Axim, Elmina, Anumabo, and Keta. We're constructing forward operating bases to enable the armed forces to protect the territorial integrity of our land. Constructed 80,000 metric ton warehouses under One District, One Warehouse initiative. Constructed about 400 out of the 560 small earth dams in the 5 northern regions in fulfillment of the One Village, One Dam promise. Constructed more than 800 sanitation facilities. As a result, we have increased the proportion of the population with access to sanitary facilities from 33% in 2016 to 80.8%. This has resulted in a virtual elimination of cholera in Ghana. We completed the University of Ghana Stadium in Lagos. We built multi-purpose sports facilities at Botima for the African Games, as well as increased public astroturf in Ghana from 3 in 2016 to over 150 now. Extended more rural telephony network by increasing from 78 sites in 2016 to 1,008 sites today. Constructed more public libraries and have increased the total number of public libraries from 61 in 2017 to 115 by 2023. We've added 134.1 megawatt of renewable energy to our energy mix from a low of 37.7 megawatt in 2016. Mr. Speaker, we have used this critical mindset of possibilities to reposition our country for the future. Today, we are the proud host of the Africa Continental Free Trade Secretariat and the Climate Vulnerable Forum Secretariat. In addition, we demonstrated our can-do spirit when we hosted the 13th African Games, the Africa Development Bank Annual General Meetings, Afro-Exim Bank Annual General Meetings, and just last weekend, the 50th anniversary of Badia and the AU Summit. Clearly, Mr. Speaker, Ghana has become the destination of choice for international conferences. Mr. Speaker, we've also become a regional leader in digitalization, and we are preparing our citizens for the 4th Industrial Revolution. Mr. Speaker, these investments are historic and unprecedented. They make a significant difference in our lives as a nation. To achieve the core objective of economic transformation, we must keep at it. Mr. Speaker, we must complete this together. We will continue to prudently manage public finances and protect the vulnerable. We will support enterprises through our SME Go program, invest in agriculture to impact inflation, address food imports, and preserve foreign exchange. We will invest in roads that advance trade integration and productivity. We will improve housing delivery and optimize land use. We will promote the digitalization drive to improve service delivery. Mr. Speaker, we must do this for the sake of the market women who promote trade in our country. We must do this for the future of school children and young graduates. We must do this to support working parents to build their families. We must do this to enable our businesses set up and step out to take advantage of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. We must do this to protect and care for widows, the aged, and the disadvantaged in our society. We must do this because it is possible. A lot more is possible. Mr. Speaker, we are using this same mindset of possibilities to confront the economic challenges we have faced. Already, we are seeing results. In this mid-year fiscal policy review, we are not seeking additional resources to spend. Rather, we are trying to stay the course within appropriation. Our progress has informed our proposal to reinstate the fiscal rule on the 5% deficit threshold, which we suspended in 2020, and we expect this to take effect in 2025. Let us continue this path with hope and the unwavering belief that together we can achieve greatness. We are building a Ghana that is more inclusive, that is more sustainable, and that is more transformed. Let us rise to the challenge. Let us work together and let us build a future that is worthy of our highest aspirations. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I want to express immense gratitude to Allah for His grace, for His mercy, and His favor. He has continued to be generous to me, to my ministry, and to our nation. Even as one of your own, I do not take for granted the support this House continues to give me. I want to acknowledge my predecessor, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Ken Oforiatta, for his leadership and dedication of service in the Ministry of Finance. Mr. Speaker, this is important. I want to also extend a special appreciation to the good people of Karaga constituency. I know that their overwhelming support has been vital in serving our country and our constituency. Right, Honorable Speaker, let me once again express my sincere appreciation for the opportunity to present the 2024 Mid-Year Fiscal Review to this august House. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I thank you, honorable members of this great House, and may the Almighty Allah bless us all, bless our homeland Ghana, and make us great and strong. Thank you.
Honorable members, before I admit comments to the statement that has been made, permit me to acknowledge the presence of more visitors. We have a group by name
98.9 FM Pahwada Benjumedie. So the Minister for Finance Ewie Nejumedie wa present a mid-year budget review no me say ohwe highlights na the major parts of this ni say omomba be asking for sika fufuro bia na emomo no they will work within appropriation, which means that nya dia Ghana for esama extra money yante any new tax. And I intend to say I redraw existing tax biya so. And me say ebe shasi no na me callers me listeners ni biya wo Facebook ka say they are expecting to hear say e-levy atwam COVID-19 recovery levy atwam any ade that did not come. Well, Jumedi na benewie ye. All Mauli.
Yeah. Now I was on the point say no say exchange rate are stabilized, I disagree because that is not the reality. But quite apart from that one, the finance minister had made the point say economy recover.
Yeah.
And obubo figures be, but the reality is ufa we
growth continues to exceed expectation from 4.7 in fact from 3.1%, we are now talking 4.7. Inflation declining, end June inflation rate at 22.8%, a reduction of 31 points since December 2022. Exchange rates we are now open, largely stabilized, 18.6% depreciation rate to the US dollar as against 22% recorded for the same period last year. And a strong reserves, gross international reserves for 3.1 months of imports at end of June 2024 against 2.5 months of imports in the same period last year. Is this not progress?
Well, I mean, to understand where can say we progress, but the reality
things
is
are looking better.
Yes, all kinds of we occupy free. I mean, Ghana Statistical Service, boss now presentation now all year last. But the reality of the matter is that we be a year and the same Statistical Service said the data be to abundant or see electricity supply a negative. About the same period now, economy grow 4.7 now. Finance minister can't want some. Electricity is negative 7.5%. Over health and social work sector, negative 8.8%.
This year. Okay.
Over education now,
what is happening
from the same Statistical Service.
Okay.
Education is 4.9, negative 4.9%. Forestry and logging, negative 1.2%. And there is one here, other personal activities, negative 2.9%. And American health and social work sector, negative 8.8%. And share that and positives are all. We share education, electricity, they are in the negative. So that's the reality. But let's admit, I was expecting, say, finance minister will be addressing some critical issues like NAPCO workers. Finance minister is not making the arrangement of
they wrote to the finance ministry and the finance ministry said caught the presidency.
Can you imagine?
I said if presidency validates your claim now, they would give them the advice and based on that they will pay.
NAPCO Abaina nkasa police odi abase oma emabunu juma NAPCO nya ekeka kire omo na omo ko the presidency no how can the presidency be a place of validation of obi ni juma wa
NAPCO was under the presidency.
How about CTAC? Colleges of education workers who have been on strike for well over 1 month, in fact from 14th June till now. Teachers of colleges of education, and they are still at home. They are only asking for conditions of service.
It's some salaries suspended.
Can you imagine? And that, you see, and look now breaking me heart. If I no pay you, matis asem.
That's what if you na nyejuma sisi tiaka.
But tio, you see, ya treat you muti se bia omu nka ho.
Okay.
But nipa no waye juma, he's demanding for better conditions of service. As abaya over abadaye. And come because mumbra yentina si yendwe ho. You are not responding to them. And I say mumbra yendi ho nkomo. Nkoda no krapo tifie. They don't even know their fate to speak. And they should be, ending their program by end of September. Yeah. But nothing is happening. Na nyaube kachira omuni say esa ne samu tifienti no July we entuamoka. That is unfair to College of Education teachers. And I'm expecting say bia finance minister they say I tie Dr. Indu Munka say oko John Mahama nche kitikiti ye friend no so ombra betina se na ndi hu nkomo no. And ka say College of Education teachers certifie no. Abamba free almost say mumbra na ndi hu nkomo at least no atina fie for over 1 month. Ye hu bi akwan ya yedi mu befa so. But that had not happened. Ufa no too nche the issues about cost of data, internet. It's very expensive. Who can say oh?
Say no finance minister, say NCA, any Ministry of Communications.
But sending in our budget,
cost of data there then for budget.
And Kabe, present to have
infrastructure ne. Say no the
Ministry of Finance and now buying no. Yes sir. Data any boy deno. Aban ye hu bibi and I ye disika no bi krapo no support a man for. But that communication hasn't come through.
Okay.
What I say. So these are the critical issues. Me think na me expertise obeka. Nurses and midwives. Omo year school from 2019, 2020, 2021. Omo TFA. I'm not even talking about allowances. Omo kra omo di TFA. They want employment. So government must act and offer them employment. There are issues of national service workers. I mean, national service.
Yeah.
Their allowances are in arrears. Finance minister Anka no asem. So these are nyama expertise, and in fact, the worst of all cost of food. Inflation. Inflation under John Dramani Mahama was around 15.3%. By it's around 22%. That's when almost share boss on by Teso. So the critical issues of cost, those are the things that Timamu 4% muti.
Okay.
By NT. But yeah, expecting finance minister they must come again on these issues.
All right. Citizen.
I equal to the finance minister.
Me just saw money.
I think the shoe that he's wearing is not a shoe that I would have wished to wear.
You don't envy him at all.
I don't envy him. I don't know what I said. I don't know about him. What I said. It's at least he's trying to salvage what he can. I don't envy him. But you see, I don't think this mid-year budget review is inspirational going into 2024 election.
So
it's not inspirational. You are going into a very difficult elections. You want to break the 8. Maybe go back to every election year. Mid-year budget reviews. You hear announcements that your people go and you see that there is some meat that they want to munch on.
Now we when you be answer.
Okay. What take you say? Eba sempa no okay is good. Yeah. But operating.
You ain't see doctors and not talk.
So I believe concluding that this side of the house is not ready, I think is unfair, Mr. Speaker, and he should withdraw that. Thank you.
Okay, so some argument about whether the minority are ready and no more ready.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, if they are ready on the comment, not debate. Dr. Forson, minority leader, honorable minority leader, Mr. Speaker, if they are ready for us to comment on the statement, then, Mr. Speaker, I would urge them to comply with the rules.
But you may conclude na time no crown so yaso.
So for me, I think that I am not, I'm not encouraged.
Okay.
Minti bibi o ma wasa. No chere me yeru komi yada nyamere bokufum. Because this same finance minister, I was saying it, he told us to be watching the exchange rate from tomorrow. Me no tomorrow, me so Yankupon wa and ne premier na avda krema and fia premier na krema da koso no fia premier da me did tomorrow no or he meant 3 months, I don't know. So I really cannot tell what things are going to look like, but it doesn't look like from the next 6 months we are going to see things going down. I'm thinking let's year at least come on kroyen kakra mama yemanu boom kofum kakra and we good for oil policy about solve exchange rates now fuel prices still on say yama fuel ma kwa na oko nti
okay.
I don't know, I'm not excited.
You are not excited. Alaji Yempoe.
I am excited.
Okay.
Because sir, same way 6 months.
Alaji Ben Mike and Mr.
6 months of progress. Successfully concluded second review of our extended credit facility successfully with IMF. Triggered the disbursement of third tranche of $360 million.
IMF
I'm excited. Completed debt restructuring program. I'm excited. And Tiama 2.8 billion be relief be ABBA. I'm excited. Concluded negotiations for our Euro bond holders, $4.7 billion dollars of debt and achieve debt service relief. 4.4 billion between 2326 Ningina relief. I'm excited. Saskanu Fia Edibejuma Abua Ghana for. I'm excited. Masa I conclude negotiations with independent power producers. 5 out of 7 making progress. I'm excited. We have controlled our expenditure to live within our means. I'm excited. Say it to me. I'm excited. Cleared all bank transfers advice. I'm excited. I've been reforming our state-owned enterprises. I'm excited. We have paid $5.4 billion to support LEAP, school feeding program, capitation grant, and NHIS.
You are excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited to hear that at least some money have come out to go to the progress and benefit of Ghanaians. I'm excited to hear the minister telling them that.
Alaji go for badudu.
It's a brofo no kind.
That's what kind of we say akawo.
Say enede aba.
Yeah.
Media review na
media budget
review. Otimi akohwe na chi ahwe de akoso afini nyina de obeka earlier on no. Eno person hwe asem bi ohun ayebeka na say be be o say there be there ho na we cut a code according to our size. You be bo shada ebrebro say there aka say bi inflation e ba from no say there aka say dollar relatively 18.6% no from 22% no sa na be ko no from boko inflation at 3.1 target me say growth abe 4.7 and one percent. So far so good. I think we are on course, we are tender corner, and I think inshallah it will be easy for Bawumia when he come on the throne.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, let me read. Arrest payables. Arrest clearance. Mr. Speaker, in the original budget, this government has programmed zero for the first half of the year. Meanwhile, in the media review, Appendix 2A, provisional, they have actually incurred new arrests worth 4.5 billion Ghana. And you are saying what? The Speaker, we are ready to debate now. The Speaker, let me assure him that, the Speaker, we are ready. The troops are here. Honorable Adongo is ready. Honorable Tinapo is ready. Honorable Ampin is ready. Mr. Speaker, at the moment, we have 10 members ready to debate now. Today. Mr. Speaker, I am not surprised. But all what I want to tell them is that they are bereft of new ideas, and that I'm happy that they sang Abemerie, you're on your way to opposition. So, Speaker, I second the motion.
Honorable members, what we just heard from the Minister for Finance came under item 6, statements. It says mid-year review of the budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana for the 2024 financial year. The minister premised the statement as stated in paragraph 2 that this mid-year fiscal policy review presentation is in fulfillment of Section 28 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921. And so what is going to happen definitely is the determinants of these two. It's a statement coming under a provision of an act. I see that members want to go beyond that. I will determine at any time whether we should engage on debate or statement that is comments. The majority leader, in trying to make his comment, made statements that seem to have provoked debate. And the minority leader is responding, and therefore setting the tone for a debate. But this is a statement. And you have to make comments. I don't know whether this is one of the special opportunities for us to go beyond, because that too is allowed by the standing orders. There are type of statements that can go beyond the general statement that you make comments. Whether it's the pleasure of the House for us to go beyond that. Because when you go through the standing orders, there are different types of statements. But the new standing orders. There's no space for debate. If the statement is not the ordinary statement, but the statement itself provokes debate, definitely the comments will be responding to the what? Debates. So we will try to manage it, but be guided by the fact that it's a statement. And as we go along, I hope that members will be drawing our attention to the areas that are not normal statements, but statements that have shown that there is yes, Honorable Joe.
I'm not interrupting you, but just to draw your attention that...
what are you then doing?
Today, we're told that...
You say you are not interrupting me.
No.
But what are you doing now?
No, you just told me. The thing that... is to engage with you. But this is just a short comment. That we were told that majority leader... when he was talking, I just wanted to tell you that today we're told that he's now leader emeritus. And I want to remind him that
being the longest serving member of this House before he became Speaker, you're also Speaker Emeritus. So the discussion being done was Emeritus versus Emeritus. But Mr. Speaker, you didn't give any ruling. So that's why I was inviting you to rule on him. His matter.
Interesting. Gentlemen, Madam Wasini, they see her no more. Up next year, sports. Alaji Kabi made us a citizen, made us so say Ochina Nafi ni bi dim komo na nkasa in detail. Meaning the best background, many thanks to my team, Frank Afo, Reynald Ajiman, Thelma, and the rest of the team. Up next, sports, one Putu Sports. Now, crucial, Chaskele is up next with that one.